Welcome to Alpha 27. We're back. We are starting 2024 off strong, real strong, like your right hand strong. You know what I'm talking about.
Oh,
But
you
anyway,
douche.
yeah. No, I really meant masturbating, but we'll go with that.
Okay.
um, I am joined here by my wonderful co-host Seth Slykehouse. How we doing, buddy?
Doing great, Pedro. Doing great.
Yeah, you look great. You look like you got a fresh
Thank
cut.
you. I got a fresh cut. I decided today I'm going to buy a new car.
Yeah.
So yeah. So the sons of bitches got me. All right. They got me. I brought my Impreza in for service today.
Mm-hmm.
It
Yeah.
needed its 30,000 mile like refresh or whatever.
Yeah.
And they were like, all right, this is a big one. It's going to take a few hours. I'm like, ooh, wasn't ready for a few hours. That kind of threw me for a loop. And they're like, well, do you want a loaner car? And I'm like, yeah, sure. I'll take a loaner car and I'll bring it back tomorrow. And he goes, all right. He gives me this car, right? He goes, it's the white one in the garage here. It's brand new. All right. It's a brand new, like the top tier level Outback. And I jump in this
Yeah.
bad boy. And then like you open the door and there's a spotlight that says
This was
Subaru
Outback.
Outback underneath the door that opens up. And I'm like, ooh.
Yeah.
Jump in, leather seats, leather steering wheel and whatnot. And then the
Yeah.
new entertainment center is like real big. And I'm like, oh, this is nice.
Yeah.
This is real nice. It's got the heated and cooled seats and stuff. And
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm driving. I didn't even get 15 minutes outside Blaze Alexander before I texted my car salesman and I was like, let's make a deal. And I was
funny.
like, those sons of bitches got me. They nailed me right down. Because they send me, because I bought my Impreza brand new. Like I was the first person to ever drive it,
Yeah.
And they've been sending me like offers constantly in the mail, like once a month. Like, hey, you want to trade your car in? Yeah. Like, oh, you want to trade your car in? It's about that time, get the most amount of most value for it. Yeah. I was like, nah, I'm gonna pay this one off. And then I drove the Outback, and I'm like, you know what? I deserve something nice.
There you go,
switch
buddy.
on that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, how are you doing, bud?
I'm doing great. Just getting ready for this winter storm we're supposed to get this weekend in Philadelphia. By winter storm, I mean it's going to be like rainy, and that's about it because it doesn't snow in Philly. But yeah, so I'm sure I'm gonna have to run to the grocery store and like try to get some scraps of whatever's left because you know how people are when anytime there's supposed to be any sort of inclement weather.
Yeah, it drives me nuts.
Yeah, it's worse. It's probably appreciably worse up your way, but because you have all these like doomsday preppers that live out there.
Well, people act like they're going to be stranded for a week.
Yeah,
like no, not. You give like the PennDOT like 12 hours and like you're good, Yeah. And some people don't. I don't even give them any time. If I want to go out during a snowstorm these days, I'm out, dude. I go.
Yeah.
I once drove from my dad's house to see The Hobbit in like a blizzard. Yep. With Elijah and Fletcher was there, and I think Chris Chamberlain was there too.
Those movie attendants were probably like, "What the fuck is wrong with these kids?"
Yeah, I mean, it took me like an hour and a half to get there. It was crazy.
Worth it.
Yep.
Was that in your fucking Oldsmobile, or whatever the hell you were driving, your Pontiac?
I think it was. I think I had my Grand Prix at the time. So.
I'll never forget like one of the first times I met you. We had like a team meeting at Elite Games, and you like fucking told me you like drove over the median in Lewisburg.
Yes, I did because I didn't see it. I thought it was one of those flat medians that you could just drive across, but it wasn't, dude. It was one of the lifted ones, and I blasted that thing, and that was probably the hardest I've ever bottomed out a car. I mean, like that, I can't believe I drove away from it. That was crazy.
Yeah, no, you've had some moments in cars. Another one of your famous moments. I remember we were going to the Sticky Elbow. It was like me, you, Watson, and Robert. I think.
Yes.
And you, for some reason, weren't there. We're like, where the fuck is you? You're like, oh, I ripped my bumper off at Best Buy. Or whatever the fuck you did.
It was Toys R Us. We went to Toys R Us before that, and I drove a little too far onto the curb, and I'm like, oh, whatever. Like I scratched my bumper or whatever. But when I backed out, it caught and ripped my whole bumper off. So me and Robert then went to Target in the pouring rain, dude, and we duct taped my bumper up.
That was pretty funny.
Actually, I was taking too long, and Robert's like, "Just let me do it. Like, get me in there and let me do it." And he did it for me.
Of course, fucking Robert.
Yep.
Yeah. Shout out to Mr. Sweely. Congrats to the fam for buying the venture.
Yeah,
very,
pretty
very
sweet.
excited for memories there moving forward. That's gonna be a
Yeah,
good time.
pretty sweet, pretty sweet. It's gonna be a good
Yeah,
time.
gonna reach out like, yo, can I have my birthday here, bro? Just
So,
every year, birthday bash.
so just so you know, you're aware,
Yeah,
me and Caitlin, trying to figure out like what we want to do for our wedding,
yeah,
and we think we're gonna have it at the Renaissance Fair.
that's gonna be dope.
Yeah, it's actually like a really really reasonable price,
Yeah,
and it comes with like everything included, like the cake and like
mhm.
the music and everything like that, and everyone gets a full day at the Ren Fair, and I'm
Give
like,
me a Watson duel. I need a duel.
yeah, yeah, I'm like that seems like a pretty good
Yeah.
time, so
And
we're
just let me
thinking
know what
about
kind of robes I need. I'd like. Do I need Jedi robes? Do I need medieval garb? Like what? Like I need to know.
I mean, if it's at the Ren Fair, then it's gonna be medieval garb. So
All right.
we're gonna need you to be snazzy, your finest medieval attire.
See, now the only thing I'll need is like a time frame as far as, well, that we'll get to the details, I'm sure. But
Yeah.
because I also got invited to a wedding this year too, so I'm gonna be going to a wedding on Long Island in like February, or not February,
Well,
May.
there's 52 weekends in a year.
Yeah.
The odds of it landing on the same weekend are like pretty astronomically
Well,
low. So.
yeah, I agree with this, but I'm saying, so the segue to that is like I'm starting to get into shape. Like I finished my like third workout of the week this week.
Yeah, boy.
Well, because yeah, you can't be at weddings looking sloppy. Like
Yeah, I agree. I
so.
agree. The thing that motivated me to lose all that weight a couple years ago was the photo of me and you at Robert's sister's wedding. I think it was.
I still have that photo, by the way. It's
It's a great
framed.
photo of us, but I'm
Yeah.
like, wow, I
Yeah,
am
we look.
looking rough.
Yeah, same here. So then we lost all that weight, and then I gained it back. So it's fine.
I gained a bunch
It's
back, but
fine.
it's
It's fine. It's okay.
okay.
It's okay. We're not gonna judge. But
Yeah.
yeah, no, we're gonna look snazzy because I'm gonna be on Long Island, fucking flying solo, the solo sniper. We're gonna see
All
what's up.
right. All right. I like to hear, buddy.
Yeah. So, what you been playing, buddy? Talk to me. What do we got?
Been playing one game and one game only. All right. And
Kentucky. All right.
been slamming it. And that is Legend of Heroes, Trails from Zero. And as of a little over 24 hours ago, I finished it.
Very nice.
And
No- yeah. Lay it
phenomenal,
on me.
dude. But you know what? Phenomenal. Probably my favorite one so far that I've played.
I told
All
you
this,
these fucking crossbow games were fucking awesome.
the characters are just top tier. The characters are phenomenal. And dude, what's crazy is that it is largely a direct sequel to Trails in the Sky.
Yeah.
And the thought that people thought that you didn't have to play Trails in the Sky is crazy because as from what I understand, these crossbow games tie pretty heavily into Trails of
Yeah.
Cold Steel.
Correct.
So, in fact, I know they do because crossbow is like a major part of Trails of Cold Steel.
Yeah.
So, looking back on it, how badly did we fuck up with Trails of Cold Steel?
Horribly.
I mean,
Horribly.
we really dropped the ball on that one because for years now we've been hammering the nail that like the first game is probably terrible, right?
Yeah.
But as I'm playing through this crossbow game, I'm seeing like all this stuff that would have been a really cool reveal in Trails of Cold Steel 1, like Fee's last name, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh wow. If I saw that, I would be like, this character is gonna be a big deal,
Yeah.
you know? But of course, we played Trails of Cold Steel, the first one, and that's not our fault, by the way. That's not our
That's
fault.
Falcom's. Well, it's not
That
Falcom's
is,
fault. It's someone's fault.
yeah, that's Falcom. They decided that they were going to try and grab in new people with Trails of Cold Steel, and instead of re-releasing Trails in the Sky or Trails from Zero. So anyway, Trails from Zero, phenomenal game. Really enjoyed the smaller, more concentrated area of just Crossbell and a couple villages. Right, there's not a whole lot there. It's not like Liberal or Arabonia where you're traveling around this whole country. It's just a small little concentrated area where you can learn a lot about one spot, and you can get a lot of detail in there, and you can get a lot of character development. And the cast is really fun. There's not a single person in the whole cast I didn't like. So
Yeah. What do you think of that red constellation, buddy? There was a certain scene where they're just like fucking. It was like a pretty violent scene for like that for that art style. It's where
Red
they're like the red. So it's that Jaeger Corps that like invades Crossbell at some point.
Are you thinking of something that happens in Azure?
No,
'Cause,
this happens in Zero.
are you sure? Because I don't remember this.
Mm. It could. It might happen. It might. I don't know. Those two games blend together, but there's a certain
Yeah.
scene with like the Red Constellation that's fucking awesome. And then like my favorite, the boss fights in Zero are really good too.
Yeah, I think you're thinking of Azure because I know Cheryl shows up in Azure. She doesn't show up
Oh
in
yeah,
Zero.
yeah, she does.
So if it's the same scene, then like I think you're thinking of Azure.
Yeah. Now you'll know
But
what I'm talking about when you see it. It's pretty good.
yeah, yeah, big fan, and
Now, so your final party composition for that last dungeon. Did you use the liberal people or no?
I did not.
I didn't either. I fucking didn't either. I'm like, no, 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 no.
Yep.
Get out of here. I didn't like that they did that. By the way, that was my biggest gripe there. I'm like, don't just like. I get why, but don't do that.
Well, I'm sure it was like it's cool, right? I mean, like
Yeah,
because that was the first time in the entire game where you got to use them. They show up a
yeah,
lot, but
yeah,
that's the first time they just drop them in like, hey, here's a little treat, and I'm like, okay, I'll try that, and I tried them out, and I'm like, you know what, this is cool, but they don't deserve to be here. They don't belong
yeah.
here. You know,
I agree.
they can stay in the support role and drop in once in a while and do a special move or something, but
Yeah.
I got my boys here, and that's where I'm gonna stay.
Did you kick the shit
So
out of them in the race?
yeah, I did.
That
Yeah,
was like one of the most fun parts.
yeah, that was fun. There was all kinds of really interesting ideas, especially like when it comes to Lloyd, like being a detective and like you're
Yeah.
selecting the options. Now, I will say, you made me feel like a bitch last episode when I said I used a guide, and you're like, "What?" And then I'm like, "All right, well, fine. I won't use the guide for the
Yeah.
second half of
Figure
the
it the
game."
fuck out.
Well, because like there's so much to miss, and that's the thing. I was doing all the side quests, and I was like doing all the hidden stuff and
Yeah.
finding all the chests and whatnot, and then the maps. So I didn't use the guide for the second half of the game. So I'm sure I missed so much, but I had a good time. I really enjoy it.
Yeah. No. See, I like that game because it was so. It's like a smaller game, but the country of Crossbell feels big enough that you're not bored. Like you're never bored of
Mhm.
any locations. So I don't know. When I played through, even without a guide, I didn't feel like I missed anything or I missed anything important because like I don't know how you play RPGs, but the way I do is like I explore every fucking nook and cranny of the map
Yeah.
before I like move on somewhere else, or even when I'm in a dungeon, like when you're in Stargazer's Tower, like I fucking ran up and down that motherfucker how many goddamn times, but
One thing I will say, and this seems to be a trend in the Legend of Heroes series, the final dungeon, a little much.
yeah.
But every single one of these games I play, by the time I'm like halfway through the final dungeon, I'm like, all right, I'm sick
Yeah.
of this.
I feel like the biggest perpetrator for me was in SC, that like
The
that
liberal
like
arc,
yeah, like I just felt that last area where it's like all future. I think is that in the second game or the first game? I can't remember.
no, that's the second game.
Yeah, where it's all like
The-
futuristic. I'm like that shit takes so goddamn long.
See, it didn't bother me so much because it didn't feel like a dungeon because it was almost like you're exploring like an ancient city.
Yeah.
But the worst one for me, I think, I don't know. There's a lot. It's in every single one of them.
Yeah.
I don't
I'll
know
just
which
wait till
one.
you get to Reverie, buddy.
Yeah, I heard Reverie is like a massive like dungeon crawl,
Yeah,
but
it's a time. Yeah, that end game dungeon's a time sink, by the way.
um, yeah, I love Trails from Zero. And speaking of which, Pedro,
Yeah.
I gotta shout out. I gotta shout out the Falcom store because this showed up today. Okay.
Oh, you bought that?
Yes, this is the Reverie Collector's Edition, and you can
Nice.
see right here it came with the three
Yeah.
plushies. They're
Yeah.
really nice. One thing I didn't know, right? So this one right here, this guy, what's his name? C, right? Showed up
Yeah.
showed up double bagged, and I'm
Nice.
like, why? Why is this specific one double bag? It had because these ones showed up in like a transparent bag, and this one had
Yeah.
like a yellow bag on the inside. And then I realized when I pulled him out that his mask comes off.
Oh, don't do it. Don't do it.
Yeah, so
But you
I
already know who
haven't.
he is, don't you? Okay.
So I
Do
forgot.
you? Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, I forgot,
Good. That's
which
good.
thankfully, I think I have brain damage. My memory, not quite there. I think I remember who it was, but I'm not positive. Anyway, I bought this, I think the day before New Year's Eve, and it showed
Yeah.
up already. So pretty quick response time, especially over a holiday.
What made you
Um,
pull the trigger on that? You just kind of.
heavy because it was sold out previously.
Yeah.
And then I texted you and I was like, "Hey, they refilled the stock." And because I was just like randomly looking for it. And this is like a really nice collector's edition, dude. There's a lot of stuff in here from because this is actually the first time I've opened it. But this is such a breath of fresh air compared to like the Square Enix collector's editions, which I'm always getting burned on. So like it's got this like cool like transparent like art thing that's 3D.
Oh,
And then
nice.
we got some sort of book called The Legend of Zemuria. I don't know what that's about.
Ooh.
It comes with a short novel with those two new party
Yeah.
members.
So okay. So real quick about that.
Mhm.
That those guys like they're in a novel in Trails of Cold Steel 4. Fun fact that you should read.
In the game.
Yes.
Are they like fictional characters in Trails of Cold Steel 4?
No, I didn't. I thought it was fictional, but apparently it becomes canon. Like somebody
Yeah.
wrote about them. Yeah.
Nice steel book.
Oh, that's hot. That's
Pretty
sexy.
pretty nice. Yeah, pretty nice. And then I got some more stuff here. I got I don't know what this is. This is the soundtrack.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, pretty nice there. And then we got of course the game, which I already have. So
Yeah.
this is gonna stay sealed.
Are you now? You're playing through all the Kiseki games on PC. Like you've
Yes.
jumped to PC. Yeah.
Yes. Unfortunately, they don't make this for PC. So
Oh, it's really.
yeah,
What the fuck, Falcom?
yeah, weird, but
That is weird.
pretty cool stuff.
Now, question for you, because I actually happen to have, because you have a bigger Trails collection than I do. I just have the games, but I randomly have Trails in the Reverie in Japanese, so I'll probably end up giving that to you.
You have a physical version of Reverie in
Yeah,
Japanese?
physical PS4 version.
Oh, that's fun. I have the digital version on PC because I was going to
Yeah.
translate it, and
Yeah.
then never got around to it. So nice collector's edition box. One of the heavier ones I have. This thing is a beast.
Yeah, that's a thick boy. That's thick with 2 C's.
Yeah. So compared to like the Square Enix collector's editions, this was only $90, I think.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
No, that's nice. That's
Yeah.
very nice. I'm glad you're getting caught up, buddy. I can't wait for you to finish Trails into Azure.
Yeah.
So you can because that's a ride, buddy.
I can't wait to play through Daybreak before you.
He's this guy. You really think that's gonna happen?
I am so determined to make it happen, dude. I will not sleep ever.
I don't even know when Daybreak's coming out. Like
June.
no,
I think it's June.
Amazon has no release date for it.
I just pre-ordered it, and Amazon had a release date.
Oh, did they? Yeah. Because when I pre-ordered it, said
like literally yesterday, I pre-ordered it.
Yeah.
Let me see. I'm doing the work here, but yeah, that's all I've been playing. What about you, bud?
So speaking of Kiseki games, or I guess Falcom games, I've been playing the Legend of Nayuta, Boundless Trails, because when I was looking at the cover of Trails in the Reverie. I was looking at the cover of Boundless Trails. I'm like, hey, something looks a little similar here. So I have a hunch that these games are connected. I'm not sure how yet.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how. They've been slow. Go ahead.
So like I told you, when that third Daybreak game released a trailer recently, Falcom released a trailer for it. People were saying that like Nayuta is going to be vital to the story. Like something is going to happen that ties into Nayuta. So yeah.
Now I have my theories as far as like what's going to happen, but I don't know. There's certain connections. Like it feels like it's in the same world because there's things like Mira and certain characters get named. Like Nayuta, his last name is Herschel. So, and when you look at Toa, like if you look her character name up, like her parents are like unnamed. They're like,
interesting.
Like, what do we got here? So there's that. When you meet certain characters, they refer to the Empire, but I don't know which Empire they're talking about. So it's like, hmm.
Okay, okay.
And then let's just say there's a character there's a character you run into in Nayuta who looks eerily similar to a certain member of Ouroboros, and that's all I'll leave it at.
Yeah.
So I'm like, well, so I got to get through this to, see what's up. I'm enjoying the game though. It's like a mixture of East and Trails. So I guess it was a PSP game at some point.
Okay. Yeah.
So yeah, really enjoying
Uh,
that.
I did have one complaint with Trails from Zero. In the final dungeon, it was not clear where the edge of the map was. So like because it's a PSP game, the zones are only so big.
Yeah.
And I was constantly getting lost in the final dungeon because it wasn't
Oh
clear that you were
no.
going into the next screen,
Mhm.
and it would just flash black and I'd be somewhere else. And I was like, what the fuck is going on here? It was hard to,
That's
but
it.
yeah,
That's funny. I'm glad you're enjoying that.
that's awesome.
I went back to Danganronpa. So I was talking to one of my coworkers. I've been trying to get him to play Danganronpa, dude. Like, you like visual novels, you're into anime. Uh, it's a fun series, and so I took my own advice and went back and I'm playing through the first one, Trigger Happy Havoc. And here's what I'll say: I love the game, but it's one of those games that's hard to go back to because, like,
Because you know what happens.
yeah. So it like just kind of it's like one of those games you only can play once. I feel like, not that that's a criticism. It's like basically a visual novel is like a book. So when you go
Yeah,
back, it's just because you want to enjoy those characters and enjoy the writing, which the writing's great. The characters are fun. The class trials are fun. That's what's been the most challenging for me. Is like I remember what happens, like who does what, but like how they do it, and you got to piece it together is kind of the thing that's holding me up. So I've been
I can see
enjoying
that.
that. Um, it's weird though because I'm playing through on console, and when I originally played, I played the Vita versions.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, this is definitely like best suited for a handheld. Because
Steam Deck, buddy. Steam Deck.
well, I have them like I could play them on Switch. I have the Decadence collection on Switch, but I'm playing on my PS4 right now or
Yeah,
PS5, excuse me. So, but um, yeah, those games are definitely I recommend the handheld versions if you can because I just think it's perfect. You can pop in for like 20, 30 minutes, do whatever, pop out. So it's like a perfect like lunch break game.
yeah. I,
But
I
then what I
think
realized was like, so Danganronpa 3 or V3 is like happens in an alternate timeline, but the canonical Danganronpa 3 is an anime.
yes.
So I got to watch that. And that
Yeah.
annoys
Um. Yeah. I think my biggest thing with Danganronpa was I immediately jumped into two after I beat one,
me.
and
Yeah,
I
don't do
was like, we're doing this all over again, huh? And then
that.
I never finished it.
Well, because 2 has some like wild fucking cases. Like two, my favorite thing about 2 is there's definitely there's one case in particular, spoilers, but the game's like 10 years old, guys. Where a guy he like fucking he fakes a suit or he commits suicide but makes it look like he got murdered. And it's like really hard to figure out because like one of the ways like he did it was like he like sets himself up where he's like tied down and like there's these like fire extinguisher grenades people would throw, but one of them was filled one of them with poison gas, and you got to figure out who unknowingly threw that one and ended up technically murdering him. So it's like one of those funky like I remember failing that one so many goddamn times until I figured it out. I was like, you sons of bitches.
Yeah.
So
Danganronpa is fun for sure. For sure.
yeah, no, definitely recommend the Danganronpa series. Anyone who is into visual novels. I mean, I feel like it's a fairly popular series at this point. But and then as far as modern stuff, the last game I was playing was I ran through TMNT Shredder's Revenge
Okay.
with my buddy Mark, and what a fucking blast a nice old school beat 'em up is. It was like, you ever played Turtles in Time?
Yeah, way back in the day, I played it.
Yeah, but it's or like even like the X-Men arcade game, it's
Yeah,
stuff of that
that's what I was
ilk.
gonna say. Like they're all pretty much the same.
Yeah, but it's nothing. I mean, a lot of things beat it, but sometimes it's nice to just sit down, even though the days of couch co-op are dead. I feel like, but like even online co-op where You get a buddy, and you're just beating up some mooks, shooting the shit, having a good time, enjoying yourself. And
Mm.
I really love these old school beat 'em ups that are coming out, because like this one's out. Streets of Rage 4 was really fun. Scott Pilgrim versus the World got a remake or re-release.
I've always wanted to play that. I heard it was really good.
What, Scott Pilgrim?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, you've never played that?
Mm-mm.
Well, you're in luck because I own it. So,
Do you own the physical version? That's really rare.
which one?
I think it was on PS3.
Well, no, see, that was digital. Here, 1 second. I'll show you the version I have. Give me 1 second.
I thought one of them was really rare.
Ugh. All right. So I have the one that like it comes like in a Neo Geo case.
Ooh, that is nice.
Yeah,
Who's it from?
you know who.
we don't name them. That was pre. That was pre that time. All right.
I haven't bought a
get
single
away.
thing from. I haven't bought a single thing from them since.
Me either. And I
yeah.
won't.
No. Yeah, we won't get into that. But yeah, so we should definitely play through that when we come over next weekend.
Oh my god, that is a week away, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's like 4 or 5. I think it's 4 players too, so we can get the boys together and.
Listen, I'm gonna throw some shade on Robert Sweely for not responding to us, because we can't do it any other weekend. I'm literally going to Disney World in a month, so that's it. We got to do it then. Plus, I'm excited to get the boys together. You know,
Yeah.
So I'm excited.
Also,
It's time.
Speaking of which, there's a fight night that night too, I believe. So we always get a chance to see some guys trading some fucking leather.
You know what? I'm gonna say this: Cody Garbrandt coming back.
Oh, are we back, Warbrandt?
We're back, dude. Warbrandt's back.
Oh no.
No, it's a joke. Right. It's a joke.
I don't think you're joking. No, you said that. It's recorded. You're accountable. All right. So moving into the meat and potatoes of the show. So let's start with this. What are some of your anime goals for 2024? We'll get into the gaming, but here at Alpha Nerds, we encompass all things of nerd culture and just nerdy shit that we like to talk about as men in our 30s. So I'll let you bat lead off. What do you got for me?
I started watching Jujutsu Kaisen because people wouldn't shut the fuck up about it. And here's the thing. I watched like the first couple episodes of it and wasn't a big fan. The more I watch of it, the more of a fan I'm becoming. I still don't think it's like this big deal that people make it out to be. And I'm finding that where I'm becoming more and more detached from like what it seems like the overall anime community is. Yeah. Because people were also raving about like One Punch Man and Chainsaw Man, and I don't like either of them at all. I'm like, this is not for me. Whereas, I feel like, a decade ago, maybe more, I don't know. I was like all in on whatever the biggest anime was. So, but I'm liking Jujutsu Kaisen a lot. I still love My Hero Academia a lot. So I'm going to watch season 7 when it comes out next year, or I guess this year now. And, gonna finish Jujutsu Kaisen, and that's all I got for anime goals so far. I would love to watch and maybe get like a physical version of the Trails in the Sky anime that came out. So, because I don't know if you know this, there was like an OVA that came out like 10 years ago, and it details like a short retelling of second chapter. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, that's all I got.
Very nice. Yeah, see, I feel the same way you do, where I see all these like anime that come out now that are like kind of stupid in my opinion. Like I hear Chainsaw Man and I'm out. Like I don't want to. I'm good.
Yeah.
Now Jujutsu Kaisen I've heard a lot about too, so that's one that's on the list. I am still working through my way through the UC Gundam stuff.
Oh.
I'm on season 2 of Gundam 79, so still got a ways to go there. I'm also working my way through Berserk, the 2016 one of season 2 of that. I don't know
So
if we
that's
did we talk about Berserk last show?
we did not talk about Berserk.
Okay.
Because I was just like the other day when I found out that you'd watched it.
Yeah.
So to be fair, clear, you watched the '90s anime. You didn't watch the 3 Golden Age movies, right?
No, I watched the Golden Age arc on Crunchyroll that had kind of essentially in a nutshell what happens with Guts and how he becomes enemies with Griff and all that.
Right, but there's 2 versions of that. There's the one
Yeah, the
from the
'90s one and
'90s.
then the updated one.
Yeah, did you watch the new
I didn't.
updated one?
I watched the updated one. I couldn't find the
Okay,
'90s one anywhere.
okay. Well, they're
My
essentially the same. They just
Yeah,
remade it.
yeah. And what I looked on Reddit, people prefer the '90s one. I
Hmm.
guess, which I don't know. Like I would have to watch it, but my criticism of Berserk, which for the record I really liked. I liked the story. Like it's a story of betrayal and your fucking best bro, forced best bro at some point, but um, he just does some wild shit, and then yeah. But my biggest criticism of that anime is super rapey, a little too rapey. Like
I think but it's not. I
it's
would
not like
have a problem.
ridiculous, but
I would have a problem with that if it was like a sexualized
yeah, no, it's not like that. I
it's
just
not
get
it's not meant to get you horned up while you're watching
no,
it. It's
no,
like
no, no.
it's like brutal, and then
Yeah,
that whole anime is like the darkest shit you could possibly
yeah.
imagine, right? So I think it fits in.
And what where that comes from for me is in the 2016 anime
Hmm.
is like where all of a sudden every time a certain character pops up who's already kind of lost their mind, it's like, hey, let's rape that one. Like it happens a little too frequently for me. Where like again, I don't think it's I don't think it's distasteful, but it's just kind of like,
So
why
I
does
think
everyone want to rape this one?
2016, the one in 2016 is like the CGI one, right?
It's like a weird animation style.
Yeah, this is the one people hate.
I could see why, because like I didn't hate it, I didn't love it. It was just kind of there, and I just kind of wanted to see what the continuation of the story was.
Yeah, yeah. So this is the 2016. Yeah, this is like the Ruby art style
Yeah, I don't really care
from
for the art
Sheath.
style. Me and
Yeah.
Adam are watching it. Ironically, I'll now have Christmas memories watching Berserk, which I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. That's a little strange thing to watch on Christmas, but that's what we did. And
Okay.
yeah, like that 2016 anime style, I don't care for, but I'm gonna finish the second season because we're already committed to it.
Okay.
Um, but I heard we're getting another one. They're doing it again, from what I'm told.
I don't know. That
Yeah,
wouldn't surprise me. It's Berserk is starting to become super controversial because people like discovered it on Twitter and whatnot. So
well, you can't cancel Berserk. I think it's already kind of run its course.
no, they're still making it. That guy died, but his like protege is making it.
Oh wow.
Yep.
Yeah, I need to get into reading the manga from what I'm told. But
Yeah, because I guess that 2016 anime takes place like it skips like a ton of chapters
yeah,
in the manga. So
right. I gotta get into reading manga. That's hard for it's kind of hard for me to have the time to sit down and read manga. I'll be honest, but I'm gonna try. That's like one of my anime goals of 2024 is to try to read some manga.
okay.
Uh,
So one thing I would like to do because I'm not spending the time to watch the anime, I would like to read the One Piece manga
uh
because I'll be honest, I think like Dustin Furman, I love the guy. All right,
One Piece is too long.
you gonna sit there and watch over 1,000 episodes of One Piece? Not happening, dude. And people say the manga's better anyway. So I'm willing to give the One Piece like 50 chapters to draw me
Okay.
in, you know. And if I reach like 50 chapters, I can bang out 50 chapters of manga in like
Yeah.
a few hours.
Yeah.
I'm willing to give it that. If it pulls me in, I'm good.
Here's where I'll go with it with One Piece. I've always said this: if they get like a One Piece Kai at some point,
Mm.
I'll check it out. Because that's what I always tell people with Dragon Ball Z. Like, oh, it's so long, we'll just watch Dragon Ball Z Kai because
I
it
think they already
eliminates a
made
lot of the
that.
bullshit. Did they?
I think so. I remember reading about like One Piece Kai. Like legitimately, like just like those 3 words, One Piece Kai. I was just reading about it the other day. I was reading
Yeah. See,
how to catch up on it. So
I would check that out before, like, you'll never catch me dead committing to like watching fucking 1,000 episodes of one. Like, no, it's not happening. Like, it's not happening. Nobody has. I don't have that kind of time.
See, we say that, but we definitely are spending like 1,500 hours playing the Legend of Heroes games.
Yeah, but we
So,
like that.
yeah, it's true. We do like that. That's fun.
That's
Watching
right.
One Piece, not fun.
Yeah. So, um, the other manga I want to get is ironically, it's Trails related. I want to get that Crow Armburst manga.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I want to check that out. Um, and then the last thing for anime, I want to check out some of the. I've never watched a Miyazaki film, like, so like anything
Miyazaki.
Studio Ghibli.
Oh, I see. I'm not a fan. I know that's like a really hot take. I know it
I've
is.
never seen one. I've never seen one. Sue me, fucking sue me.
Princess Mononoke is my favorite because it has action.
Every,
The thing is, a lot of them are not action based anime. They are very much like a um slow like story.
Yeah, and I don't mind that. Like, I like a good story. If I can sit down, watch something that tells me a quality fucking story, I'm in. I'll watch that. But
Yeah.
I just like they were never on my radar. Like when those movies came out, I think I was like I was a teenager maybe or even younger than
Mhm.
that. Like I was focused on fucking football and being a bro. Like we weren't worried about that at that point. Because did I ever tell you my history with anime? I feel like I've talked about it. But like after about '06, I feel like I fell the fuck off from anime.
Okay.
It was like a hard just we're out. Nothing, not that there was anything that happened. I just was focused on different shit. So like the last animes I remember legitimately watching on Adult Swim were like Wolf's Rain, which I never finished. Which debatably I don't know if he's even a good anime at this point.
I don't even know what that is.
I was watching Inuyasha.
Okay.
I was watching what the fuck is it? Fooly Cooly, which I thought was kind of dumb, but it made me laugh.
It's like 3
Then
episodes, so
I
not big.
watched Sayuki 7 or
Okay.
Seven Samurai it was something Seven Samurai I think it was. And then I was watching another anime that was called Get Backers. And then after that I just remember I stopped watching anime. You just stopped. Because the stuff I grew up loving, like I loved obviously it was a DBZ guy. Um then I watched Yu Yu Hakusho. And
Amazing.
then I discovered the fucking beauty that is Gundam. I remember the first time I laid eyes on a Gundam, like, what the fuck is this? This is awesome. And then like, Outlaw Star and fucking Big O. Uh what else was there? Like I said, Yu Hakusho, which I really liked. And then I remember starting Bleach, and then I just never finished Bleach.
Mm.
Because I'm told in anime there was like after Dragon Ball Z, you went one of three ways. You were either it was like Naruto, One Piece, or Bleach, and I went to Bleach.
I started reading Naruto. I think I've told this story many times. I started reading the Naruto manga. I got it in the Shonen Jump physical version, which I think they're at my dad's house somewhere. All my old Shonen Jumps. I have
Yeah,
like the giant stack of because they used to come like really thick,
yeah, I
massive
remember.
books. And I loved the manga of Naruto, dude. I loved it. It was so dark. It was so bloody and brutal. And I was so excited because I read in the Shonen Jump that they were making an anime for Naruto. And it was coming to Cartoon Network. And I was like, sweet. It's gonna be like Dragon Ball all over again. Like I'm gonna live through this all over again. And then they showed an advertisement while I was watching Cartoon Network one day, and I heard his fucking voice. And I heard him be like, believe it. And I'm like, what is that? And they made it so kid oriented, and it was like so much more toned down than like Dragon Ball was, because Dragon Ball follows the manga pretty closely.
Yeah,
There's not much of a difference there. But with Naruto, they like really toned down the violence and the blood, and the story prods along. Like people don't realize the second half of the original Naruto, the second half is all filler, all of it. And that trend continued through the whole series. Like a ton of Shippuden is filler, and then in Boruto, like over 80% is filler because they started the same time the manga started, and they can't keep
Smart.
up.
Real smart, Japan. Real
Yeah,
smart.
yeah. It's like okay. So I went the Naruto route and later regretted it, and I didn't watch any new anime for a long time until pretty much Sword Art Online came out.
Now, I remember I watched Sword Art Online. I think you had recommended it to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember watching it, and then I enjoyed most of it until the one random hentai scene where it's okay, and then I was just kind of out, because I don't know, maybe it's just cultural where certain scenes just I'm don't love this. Not that it makes me uncomfortable, just I'm not I'm good.
Well, I mean, I don't know. That scene was like 3 seconds
Yeah, but it
of
did
the whole
enough
series.
damage.
Um, that second part of the first season is easily the worst part of Sword Art Online, though.
Yeah.
I think the other seasons are really good. I really enjoyed them.
Oh, you know what other anime I used to love? Dot Hack. I miss Dot Hack. Bring me back Dot Hack, people. Great fucking anime.
Dot Hack's okay. It's really slow.
Yeah, but it's a nice good slow burn. I like that.
Yeah, the games are fun. I like the games a lot.
Oh yeah, they're fun. I never played the GU ones, but
Neither did I. But they made a
yeah,
remaster of them. In fact, I have it on PS4.
I also have that on PS4 and just proceeded never to touch it.
I wonder if that's a rare game. That might be game rare.
No,
So
nah, nope. Yeah, unfortunately, I mean, we'll get into the underbelly, but anyone, excuse me, looking for not that you'd be actively looking, but if you were interested in playing the Dot Hack PS2 games, good luck. That's all I gotta say. Just
yeah.
good luck.
So someday Bandai's gonna re-release them. Someday. I
hope.
really thought they were gonna do that when they did the GU collection.
Yeah,
Because
that's
no
what
one
I
even
thought.
likes the GU games. I don't know why they did that.
Because
But
Haseo's a fucking cuck. He's I'm a PK or whatever fuck he is. Shut up. Shut up.
but yeah. Dot Hack.
Yeah.
Good shit.
So yeah, good stuff. So anything in closing on the anime goals? I feel like we've got some pretty good ones there.
Yeah.
We'll check back. Now everyone remember this. I'm gonna remember this. I'm gonna bookmark this specific version of the show notes because we're gonna come back to this on the last show of 24 and see how you did.
Okay.
Yeah. So our one fan, I forget his name. What the hell is his name? Damn it.
Alden?
Yeah, him. Alden. Remember what we said here, and I forgot. I apologize. I forgot your name, but listen, I'm stupid. All right, but remember this because we're gonna come back to this. I'm gonna need you to hold us accountable, buddy.
He congratulated me last night on a successful return.
Did he?
Yeah.
What a fucking great guy he is.
Good dude.
He's a real one, that guy. You know what? He's if every show you gotta have fans, and hey. As to why, I don't know, but thank you. We fucking salute you, buddy. A special shout out to Alden. All right. Moving right along. So we're gonna save the gaming goals for last here in the topic section, but did you see that Cyberpunk 2077 sold 5 million fucking copies now? Has CD Projekt Red earned our trust again?
No. They haven't.
Ooh.
But because the shit they did with Cyberpunk was so scummy. It was so scummy. But I think it's enough to say that we can trust them if they do screw a game up that they'll fix it, right? Because they supported The Witcher 2 and The Witcher 3 for a really, really long time. Like a way longer than they needed to. So they went back and they fixed Cyberpunk for the most part anyway. So I don't know. I'm pretty confident in saying that even if we don't trust them to release a game complete and great on the first day, that it's enough to say, all right, eventually they will fix it. So I don't know. Does that make sense? What I'm saying?
Yeah, I just feel like so. There's a couple things you said there that it's sad that the games industry is in the state that it's in certain aspects because us being tolerant of companies like, we'll use Bethesda for example. Like even though they're an easy punching bag, like when they release games fucked up, it's like expected at this point. Like it's that Bethesda jank.
Mm-hmm.
And so when Cyberpunk 2077 came out, I remember playing it on my PS4 or my PS5 because it came out like right after the PS5 came out. I'm pretty sure like it was pretty directly.
I thought it was before.
It was like
Maybe you're right. I
it
think
was
you
like
might be
right
right.
around the same time. And I remember playing it on my PS4 or PS5, excuse me, and then like running into some glitches. I'm like, I can't play this way. Like this isn't fair. Like I'm not doing this. So I immediately took it out of my console and just put it on the shelf. And I'm like, I'm just gonna fucking wait. And I remember it being pretty bummed out because I'd taken the day off from work, like scheduled PTO. I'm like,
Yeah,
we're in here
you're
because like
legendary at that.
yeah,
Taking days off to play games.
yeah,
That's your whole thing.
yeah. I'm thankful I have a job that allows me to do that.
Yeah.
I'm like, yep, putting off this day, fuck it. But anyway, so I taken off work for that and was pretty bummed out because like I really, really was looking forward to Cyberpunk. I wasn't a Witcher guy, but
Mm-hmm.
Cyberpunk, like that was right up my alley. I love FPSs. I love those style of RPGs. Like I'm a big Deus Ex fan. So anything in that ilk, I'm gonna play. And after that year went by and they did that PS5 version of Cyberpunk 2077, like the PS5 upgrade, I thought that was fan fucking tastic. It
I
was
agree.
chef's kiss, chef's fucking kiss, and I really enjoyed my time with Cyberpunk 2077. I still got to play the Phantom Liberty DLC. I'm just kind of waiting till I have a better setup so I can kind of really just get in there. But um, I I just don't want us to really lose fact of the or lose sight of the fact that when they initially released this game, it was super fucked up, and you have to hold them accountable. Yeah, they fixed it, but like, is that something that we'll just accept from CD Projekt moving forward? Because I feel like they got a little too big for their britches, a little too
Yeah,
big,
I
a
agree.
little
I
arrogant.
mean, I agree with that. And they also didn't seem to learn from that because didn't they announce last year like a ridiculous amount of games that were in development, like an absurd
Yeah,
amount.
yeah,
So that's what I'm saying. I think like it, in my opinion, it's forgiven, right? Like they made a mistake, they screwed it up, they fixed it, they made it right. Um, but did they learn from it? That's to be seen, in my
yeah,
opinion. So
yeah, yeah. And then the other thing is like I missed the CD Project that was like hungry. Like I
yeah,
feel like Witcher 3 Wild Hunt was like fucking shots fired. Hey Bethesda, here's your ass.
yeah,
Like
sure,
because I will say this about The Witcher 3. I like it wasn't for me. I thought the combat was just a little it just didn't really hit for me.
okay.
But I thought the world, the quests, the writing, like the game worked well. Like everything about that game I liked minus the combat. That was the issue for me.
The writing in the world is definitely
Yeah.
the best version or the best of that game for sure.
Yeah. So, but like the way they crafted that world and how good it was compared to what Bethesda was putting out at the time, who was known as like the open world kings, like they were the kings of
Hmm.
the Western RPG genre. They just got kicked right in the fucking nuts. And like CD Projekt were here, and then like they rode that momentum into Cyberpunk and fumbled the ball at the 5 yard line, and that's not okay.
Sports metaphors.
It's a good sports metaphor. You know, do you ever fumble the ball at the 5 yard line, Seth? Is that a good thing to do?
I've fumbled the ball at the I feel like the 1 yard line many times.
That's
Especially with women.
those are what the bad
um,
kids are.
yeah, yeah. Um, but yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that. And The Witcher 3 is one of my favorite games of all time. I put 200 hours plus into it and really like loved every second. And dude, The Witcher 2 was so popular and Triss was so popular that she was a centerfold model in Playboy. Did you know that? Are
I
you
did
aware of
know that.
that?
Yeah,
The
I
the,
did
the
know this.
Witcher 2 version of Triss from like 2010. Um,
Wild.
yeah, crazy. So I think CD Projekt got a ton of money from The Witcher 2, and The Witcher 2 is a great game, by the way. I loved my time
Never
with The
played
Witcher
it.
2. Very good, very good. And I don't know. I think I would like to see CD Projekt Red do their own thing with fantasy instead of just doing licensed games.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot more to explore with The Witcher, and I would like to see them do that. Um,
Well, we're getting a Witcher 4, right?
Supposedly.
Yeah.
I don't know how, but supposedly.
Yeah. I just like I said, I just feel like that they got really popular, and then like the Netflix series being really popular, which also ended up getting like I don't know how people did the season without Henry Cavill come out yet? Like did that happen yet?
Mm-mm. I think it did. I don't know. I stopped watching as soon as I realized Henry Cavill left.
Yeah.
That's when I was done. I was like, okay.
Which is that's another one of the like all time fumbles. Like what you have a perfectly cast
Yeah.
dude. Like unless like, did it come out that he wanted to leave or like I don't
Yeah.
know.
Have you watched the Netflix show?
No, but now that I know he's out, like I'm not gonna.
So the Netflix show um did not follow the source material at all. Like it was like it varied drastically in like a very progressive liberal sense. So and Henry Cavill's a huge fan of the source material, you know.
Yeah.
So the rumor was that he was consistently fighting with the writers and whatnot, being like, this isn't right. Like you can't do this. You know, the characters wouldn't act this way. They wouldn't do this.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what the rumor was that he was not happy with the way they treated the character of Geralt. And in my opinion, they did do Geralt like very dirty. And Triss and Yennefer and Ciri, like the show was very much like Geralt was a secondary character in his own series, which Netflix seems to do consistently, like over and over and over again. Not sure why. They learn from their mistakes. So
Yeah. Yeah. Speaking of Netflix, real quick aside, I was watching the Yu Yu Hakusho live adaptation.
why are you doing this?
I I just watched the first episode. Like I watched the first episode. Like whatever, I'll watch it. And I was like, this is fucking weird. Like Kurama looks weird. Hiei looks fucking weird. Like, just stop. Like, can we stop with this? Like,
I've been saying it since the beginning. Let's
yeah,
stop with it. Yeah, let's stop.
because I feel like they kicked everyone right in the nuts with Cowboy Bebop, like right in the fucking nuts, and they
I'm
just
never gonna
continue to do
watch
it.
it, dude. I'm never gonna watch it.
I think they pulled Cowboy Bebop. It was hated that much, or it was canceled after one season.
I would hope so.
Yeah, it was brutal. But yeah. So CD Project Red, we're watching you. That's all we're gonna say. You're on probation because
I'm cool with that. I like
yeah,
it. Probation.
yeah, probationary period. All right, moving on to Persona 3.
I just watched that trailer today, dude. I watched that trailer and I was like, oh, I'm cocked up. I
Okay,
am
so
cocked up.
all right, you're in. So my reaction
Oh,
was a little my reaction was a little different. I
why?
was like, well, so you and I both suffer from the same things when it comes to Persona games.
No, it's not. It's not the same. Pedro, listen, it's not my fault. You didn't listen to me. All
No, no,
right.
no, 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 no. Listen, hear me out. Hear me out.
Okay.
I understand what happened with Persona 3. I'm not saying that was my that was my own fault. And we'll get into that story here in a minute. But you ever like when you finish a Persona game, right? It's just that jadedness to go back.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm still suffering from that. Like
Okay.
I when the remaster came out on Xbox Game Pass, I went back to it and I was just kind of like when I went back to it because I never played the PS portable version. And all
Mm-hmm.
right, we're gonna nip something right in the butt. All right, we're gonna take a stance here on Alpha Nerd. Nobody gives a flying fuck about the Fest version. Nobody cares. Nobody gives a fuck.
The Fest
Like
version?
yeah, nobody cares.
That,
People
that's
were
hot,
bitched up.
dude.
People were bitched up that we didn't get the Fest version on Game Pass. That we got the portable version, like
Yeah.
yeah. No, nobody
I
gives a fuck.
agree
Dude.
with them. Why would you want the portable?
Why?
Have you ever seen
Why?
the portable version?
Yeah, I played it.
It's what do you mean you played it? You played it on Xbox? You
Yeah,
don't even get to explore the world. It's a cursor that you run around as.
yeah, and
No.
dude, people listen. People only bitch about the Fest version because you don't. What the answer? I want to see anyone who beat the answer. Come at me.
Okay,
Come at
I
me.
didn't.
None of you beat
You're
it.
right.
None of you fucking beat it.
You're
So
you're,
shut the
you're
fuck
right.
up.
But I don't want to run around as a fucking cursor and play it like a visual novel. No, I want to explore the world. I want to explore it like I did Persona 4 and Persona 5.
Yeah, but I didn't find it that different. Like I didn't find it that like big of a egregious of a move because then you also get the different protagonist route, which isn't all that different, but it's an option. But here's what I'm gonna say: I hope that it's different enough that when I go back, I don't have that sigh where I'm like, oh boy, all right. Because it still happens with 5 for me. I can't even play 5 strikers for that same reason.
Yeah, I mean, 5 broke me mentally. I don't know why that is. Um, I have no idea what happened with me and you with Persona 5. It's a really weird occurrence because we've put way more time into the Kaseki series, and neither
Yeah.
of us really got burnt out too much from that. There's
No.
been points here and there where I've gotten burnt out, but
Yeah.
nothing nothing like what happened with Persona 5. Whereas I can't even like look at Persona 5 without getting disgusted.
And it's funny,
So
it's not a bad game. It was a great game. It's
no,
just like,
it's phenomenal. I loved every second with Persona 5, but I was like, all right, I'm done. You
yeah.
know, like that
So
was that, and now I'm done.
now Persona 3 Reload though, I'm probably in day 1. I'm probably there. But I'm like very nervous. I'm like very, very nervous that I'm gonna like not like it.
Well, because like what's weird about this for me with you is that it's not like a remaster or a
It's not a one
re-release.
for one remake. Yes, I know.
It's
I know.
it's a complete remake. Like they're
Yeah.
redoing all the battle animations. They rebuilt it from the ground up. So I think that this is a weird statement from you, to be honest with you.
Listen, it's just I look at it. I'm like I said, I had a bad experience. Not a bad experience. It's just a self inflicted wound with Persona 3. And so
Yeah,
what happened was, just so we'll tell the story. I had never played. So I had never really played a Persona game up until Persona 3. I always wondered what they were. But I was an SMT guy. I'd played Nocturne. I'd played Digital Devil Saga. So, I knew what Shin Megami Tensei was. And and I said it again, at the time, Persona 3 was a spin-off, or the Persona series was a spin-off of SMT. So when I got into it, I was like, okay, this looks familiar. I know the attacks. I know the personas. And we got into it and I enjoyed the story, but I fucking hated Tartarus. That was the most boring part of the fucking game. I hated it.
yeah.
Hated it. Which is ironically enough, I love dungeon crawlers, but I hated that. I don't know what anyway. So you're like, don't ignore Tartarus, don't ignore Tartarus. I'm like, fuck, what does he know? So I get to a point where you have to do Tartarus
Yeah.
for hours. And I remember just doing floors and floors and floors and floors. It was a good like 3-4 hours. I'm like, this fucking sucks. And then you get to the end of the game, but I just remember that grind being so miserable because I hated Tartarus that much.
Yeah. Well, see, the thing is that what you're not saying is that fucking you don't have to do Tartarus for hours and hours if you're caught up on it.
Yeah,
But if you and the game doesn't ever like make you do it,
no,
like
until they
you
make you do it,
yeah, until the end of the game. It's and there's a similar thing in Persona 5 where both
which
me
I
and you were
learned my
like,
lesson.
we know where this is going. It's like no way, buddy.
Yeah, and that was like my biggest gripe with the Persona series until 5, where like sometimes and then even 5 that Futaba. Ugh. But anyway,
Yeah.
I don't want to talk about it, but they have these like sections where they put you in these brutal fucking dungeons that like some of them are just long and not that fun.
Yeah.
But I remember specifically before, I remember hating some of um the procedurally generated ones, like the random ones that you'd get into.
I didn't like Persona
Uh,
4 much at all.
yeah, you're famously not a Persona 4 guy.
No.
Yeah,
I like
but
good games.
so like I said, I'm very nervous about Persona 3 Reload. I'm in, but like it's like that feeling where like you want to get in the pool, but it's gonna be fucking cold.
Mhm.
But then you'll have a blast swimming. It's probably that's kind of what I'm feeling right now.
This is surprising to hear. Surprising to hear.
Yeah,
I have anxiety with Persona 3 because I thought it was I thought 2023 was the summer of JRPGs, right? And that
yeah.
after this I was we were going to be free. But
We're never free.
dude, I'm so stacked on RPGs. I don't know what to do with myself,
Yeah, a lot of RPGs. A lot of
Yeah.
RPGs. Yeah, we're getting beat over the head because the other game that I saw that people aren't really talking about, and I don't get why, Grand Blue Fantasy.
Yeah. I've been excited for Grand Blue Fantasy for a long time.
I feel like it's been like a decade. Probably not that long,
Yeah,
but it's been a minute.
yeah, for
And
sure.
this game looks phenomenal. Like nobody's talking about it.
Um, yeah, developed by Cygames, and Platinum Games, and
Yeah,
I'm in. I've by the way been in for like I said, like a decade.
yeah.
So I
Did
remember
we see
seeing this
this?
at
We saw it.
PAX.
Yeah, okay, that's what I was gonna say. We saw it at PAX.
Yep, we did. We saw it at PAX, and it was
Yeah.
and that was the second time I'd seen it. It was at PAX the year before that too.
Oh wow.
So it's been and I think that was even like a year after they had announced it with a trailer that looked great. So it's been a long time, dude. It's been a long time, and
Yeah.
I still want to play the fighting game because that fighting game came out. And people are saying that fighting game's like actually really good. So
Okay. All right. Yeah.
you'd be the one to know, but it's an Arc System Works game. So
Oh, I do like Arc System Works. So it's definitely they're the Persona 4 Arena guys, right?
yep,
Yeah. See. Oh,
Guilty Gear and Blaze Blue.
yeah. I would love to get another Persona Arena game. By the way.
I think we are. Didn't they announce Persona 5 Arena?
Oh, did they? I don't know. I haven't
I thought
followed
they
it.
did. I
You know
thought
what
they
I would
did.
love though? We know what we do need.
What?
They definitely need a Kaseki fighting game that's Arc System Works.
Dude, so
You know how fucking sick that would be?
I have a list of podcast ideas on my phone, and one of the things I have written down is like a Kaseki, like pitch me a Kaseki fighting game from you because you're the fighting game guy, you know.
Yeah.
And one of these days we're gonna have a podcast, and it's like, all right, let's develop a Kaseki fighting game. We're gonna make it like
It'd be so
so
good.
in the gaming industry, and you know what I learned in college is to make these game design documents. And what these documents will do is like when they're pitching a video game or whatever, they'll make a game design document that details all like the fucking details of the game, from the characters to the world to the levels, you know, everything, the music, you know, concept art. I thought it'd be really fun to make a game design document with all the
And send it to
characters and
Falcon.
whatnot. And yeah, maybe send it to Falcon. That'd be funny. But just like, because dude, there is not a world that is more tailored to a fighting game than Kaseki. They've even got a fucking arena in it.
Yeah.
Like, come on, man. Come on.
And it'd be so good. It would, I'm just thinking about it. Getting kind of
Yeah.
hard. But anyway, let's move on.
Getting cocked up.
Yeah. So this leads into, now that we're talking about games of 2024, all right? What I know I'm not a big New Year's resolution guy.
Mm-hmm.
Even though I do, my favorite thing about like heading into the New Year's is like I like to just sit and self-reflect, plot out my next year, kind of things I want to do, certain goals. And crazily enough, one of the goals I came to is like I want to play more video games in 2024. I want to just
Hell yeah, dude.
fully invest into my hobby because you know it's been well documented. If anyone who knows me, like 2023 for me was a shit year, just a fucking year, and even 2022 was kind of the same way. Not great, but I felt like in that time, like my passion for gaming, I didn't lose it, but it definitely waned. Where I didn't get to game as much because I had stuff going on, my personal life, and then even professionally, I had a bunch of shit going on. Sometimes life gets in the way.
Yeah.
And now, when all that stuff is stabilized, like I'm good. I have a ton more time for my personal time, and I really find myself when I'm playing games again, like I'm starting to slowly rediscover that passion that like, yo, like I love this medium. It
Mm-hmm.
is the only medium that like I don't know. It's like the only vice I have. Like I'm not a big drinker. I don't do drugs. I don't, gamble much, if at all, except for like fantasy sports. So I feel like gaming for me in my career in my life has been like a real big coping skill for me. So um like even growing up, there were times like if I felt sad about something or if I, was going through something, I could always rely on video games to help me get through something where like instead of feeling like I was a piece of shit, today I'm a hero. Today I'm doing this. Today I'm going on an adventure. And like, I've some of my favorite memories and characters have been from video games. So tying it back into the original topic, like it's something I want to do more of. So gaming goals, these are like pledges we're going to make of games that we want to play or gaming accomplishments we want to do. And again, we're going to hold ourselves accountable to this.
Okay.
So if you can give me, I'll go first, but I'll just set this up for you. I'm going to give you 10 games that I want to beat in this year.
Okay.
And
I wasn't I wasn't prepared for this.
I know,
10.
that's why I'm gonna go first. You don't have to do 10,
Okay.
but I have 10.
Okay.
And it could be either modern or retro. It could be whatever, just something that's been on your radar. And I'm gonna try and beat all these games in this year. So you'll have time because it's gonna take me a little bit.
Okay. I'm in.
So number one. Now, this isn't in any particular order. It's the first one that comes to mind. So number one, I'm committing to beating Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. That's a given. That's gonna happen.
Absolutely.
Two is gonna be Trails in the Daybreak. That's two automatics.
Yep. Obviously.
So number three, Dragon Quest XI. You're going down.
Oh, I'm excited. That's exciting for me because you're not a Dragon Quest guy.
I am not a Dragon Quest guy.
But I love, and neither am I. But I love Dragon Quest XI.
Yeah. So, but everything I've played of it. I've really liked. So, like, I just need to sit down and just play it. So we're going into Dragon Quest XI. Next, this is going to be a controversial one for you, but hear me out. I am going to beat Star Ocean: The Divine Force, and I'm going to beat Star Ocean. Basically, I'm going to beat all the other Star Ocean games I've never beaten. So the Star Ocean series.
Why? Stop it.
What? They're good games, -1.
Okay. What? First, what?
They're good games, -1.
Okay, 1, 2, and 3 are good games.
No. You're misunderstanding me. I said they're all good games -1 of them, which we know which one that is.
Oh, yes. 2 of them. 2 of them.
So we're going to commit to finishing those. So we're at 4.
Okay.
5. We're getting back into Yakuza.
Trading some fists. I like it.
Yeah, well, because there have been enough games that have come out. Like I remember for years I was dying to get the fucking Ishin game, the one that's in like feudal Japan, and it came out, and I have yet to play it. And then Infinite Wealth is coming out, and The Man Who Erased His Name. So I got to get through Yakuza 5. I forced my way through 4.
Sega. So, real quick, before you move on from that, is Sega doing a little too much with the Yakuza? They found a golden goose. They're jumping all in. But are they going to are they doing the Assassin's Creed thing, where they're going to get people tired out of the Yakuza series?
I'm going to go with yes.
They're fucking releasing Yakuza games hand over fist here.
Yeah, and I mean, I love Yakuza games, but like I haven't. So I will say this: if you plan to go through the entire Yakuza series, you're going to hit a wall, the same wall I hit when you play 3, 4, and 5.
Yeah.
Because 3 sucked. I fucking hate. Yeah, you did. It was a great gift. But 3, I fucking hate Yakuza 3. Yakuza 3 is brutal. Yakuza 4, I hate Yakuza 4 for the same reason you hate Yakuza 0.
Yeah.
But Yakuza 4 is that reason on steroids. And you know they call Yakuza 4 Blockuza. That's like what.
No, I did not know that.
Because like literally fighting bosses, like all they do is block. They will block everything. So it's like very frustrating. Yeah. All right, number 5 or number 6. I'm gonna beat a Souls game.
Oh, dude, just do Elden Ring. It's the best one.
I haven't played it. That's kind of the one I was leaning towards.
Yeah, Elden Ring is the best of the Soul, because the Souls games are all pretty much the same, right? Except for like Dark Souls 2, which people widely dislike. Dark Souls, Demon Souls, and Dark Souls 3 are all pretty much the same. And then you get Elden Ring, which is like pretty similar, and they put an open world in it, and it's a lot. It's just, dude, just do Elden Ring. Elden Ring's phenomenal, and it's just as hard. It's just as much bragging rights. I loved Elden Ring when I played it. It was phenomenal.
Yeah, so Elden Ring's the one I was leaning towards.
Hell yeah.
I do own Demon Souls, the PS5 remake, but that game's hard.
Yeah.
Can't do that. That suck. All right. Number 7 is Armored Core. I've never played an Armored Core game.
Okay. I love it.
I'm gonna try and get into Fires of Rubicon.
Hell yeah.
Again, just want to change it up, do something a little different. Number 8, Tomb Raider series.
Okay.
Yeah, because I've never really had a history with Tomb Raider. Like I remember it. dabbled as a kid, but didn't really like them because they were clunky as fuck. Even then, I hated the controls.
Yeah, so you're talking about the new ones or like the remasters that are coming out, or
Well, I'm probably gonna do them all if I can.
wow,
But
that's a lot of games.
yeah, like I said, the goal is to play more games in 2024, more
A
fucking
lot.
games.
All right.
Like I said, will we do all of them? Probably not, but we're gonna try. All right, number 9, lucky number 9. Now this is gonna come as a bit of a surprise to you,
Okay.
but I still haven't finished all the Xenoblade games. Yeah.
Well, I know you haven't. You haven't finished one of them, have you?
No, I just
Yeah.
haven't. I tend to put them down. So my goal for number 9 is finish the Xenoblade games.
I'll be honest. I don't know if you're a Xenoblade guy, bud. I don't know if you are. I don't know. That doesn't seem like a you game.
You put Xeno in front of me, I just don't play it. That seems to be the
Yeah.
reoccurring theme.
I don't know if you're a Xenoblade guy.
I
I
haven't played
respect.
Xenogears, Xenosaga, Xenoblade. It just doesn't. I don't.
I respect it, but Xenogears is a very slow paced game, right? It's you're not gonna fall in love with a Xeno game until you're like 10 hours in, 15 hours in, and just the way they are.
Okay.
So
All right. And then number 10. It's time for me to come home. It's time for me to, go back into my roots, and we're just gonna play more retro games.
okay, I love it.
So I leave that. I leave that as the kind of a vague and broad one because there's so many, and we're gonna get into my return to the underbelly. We're gonna get into that, but that's a little dick tease right now. But is more retro. I'll leave it at that for right now.
I love
'Cause
it.
I've been itching.
Okay,
All right.
hell yeah,
So
dude.
now that you've had a little time,
Mhm.
little time and space, what do you got for me?
So I as you were talking, I made a list here. It was actually surprisingly easy to jot down some games I like to play in 2024. The first one, just to get them out of the way, is the Kiseki games,
Yeah.
Reverie, Daybreak. That's gonna happen. I'm planning on being through Reverie by the time Daybreak comes out, and then just beating your ass in the race through Daybreak. So that's the plan with that. That gives me enough time, I think, to play Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, which
Yeah.
that is the goal. And I don't know. So my plan here is I'm gonna beat Trails through Azure in time to play Intergrade and Rebirth.
Ooh, you haven't played Intergrade
Yeah.
yet.
Mm-mm. No, I haven't.
Now,
So
see, quick aside, when we get closer to Final Fantasy VII, we're gonna be on red alert for you. Because anytime a Final Fantasy game comes out, it seems to be a fucking cataclysmic event happens to you.
yeah, yeah, gotta put
So
me in a bubble.
I'm gonna be watching. Like, hey, listen, buddy, be careful.
Yeah, we got to watch. So excited for Rebirth though. Like I'm feeling that drive, that itch. I'm getting in there. I can't wait to finish Intergrade. So I'm already a pretty decent way through Intergrade. I just gotta jump back in and finish it.
I really like Intergrade.
With that, I would really like to jump into and finish Trials of Mana and Legend of Mana.
Ooh,
This year.
yeah,
And
yeah.
I think is Visions of Mana confirmed for 2024?
I believe so. Yes.
Because I think they're shorter games. I think if I remember correctly.
Yeah, they're like 20 hours.
So I think playing them is a very reasonable thing to do. And then some other RPGs that are lower on the tier list that I would like to knock out are like Star Ocean 2, that remake that just came out.
Yeah. Okay.
Would love to play that because that's always been, I heard, like one of the best RPGs that I've never played.
Yeah.
And Cosmic Star Heroine, and
Such a good game. Such a
Yeah.
fucking good game.
I bought it back in February of 2023 because you told me about it. So I bought it then, and I'm gonna try and play that. And I would like
That's
to
like
jump into the
maybe a
Grandia.
15-hour game. Ooh,
yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
And then I have something else here that I really would like to do in 2023. Maybe more than
24.
I'm sorry, 24. Maybe more than like everything except for Final Fantasy and the Kiseki is jump into other genres for a bit, not just RPGs, because I'm starting to get in the last couple few years, my tastes have like just become laser focused on just JRPGs and RPGs in general. And I didn't used to be like that. I used to really love other genres. So I have written down here, like maybe Blaze Blue, Guilty Gear,
Ooh,
uh,
okay, okay, okay.
Tekken 8, or like Dead Cells, or like a racing game. Maybe really try and like
Now
fall in love.
Dead Cells is like a platformer, buddy. Like, is that
I know. So I'm really like, because as you know, like platform not my thing, but like
no? They're
maybe if
not
I
your
sat
thing.
down and like really tried something different, maybe I get into it, you know. And so I would like to try and get into a genre that I am not normally
Okay,
in this year. So
yeah,
because just to break up like the JRPG madness, especially when you're going through these massive JRPGs.
yeah.
So
They're such time sinks.
yeah,
And here's the thing, because like when you change genres, because that's kind of essentially what I was trying to do as well. Like I just kind of do a little different shit. Um, you then like you gain an appreciation for like just game design. I feel like because like
yeah.
I used to not like Metroidvanias for the longest time. I just thought they were like, this is kind of I don't know where to go. Like it's so vague. And but then like I played Symphony of the Night. Like just sat down one weekend and just fucking played it.
Hmm.
And like I was like, next thing I knew, like 2 days had gone by. Like I felt like that's all I did. I just literally fucking would wake up, make breakfast, Symphony of the Night, bed, wake up, Symphony of the Night, and like, yeah, it was beautiful. Like I remember like it was like maybe a couple years ago. I had a weekend off from work and I just shut my phone off and just fucking we just went in there. And then that's how I even discovered Yakuza games. I'm like, I've never played this type of game. Like, let me fucking check this out. And if I, I ended up falling in love. Now,
Nice.
sometimes I can burn you because I remember I tried Ace Combat. I'm like, I've never played an Ace Combat game. I go in, I fucking hate Ace Combat. Like, all right,
Yeah, flight games not for me. That is
yeah,
one thing that is just not my thing.
yeah, fucking that was awful. So that's a good stuff though. That's good stuff.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm
definitely.
excited to see what you think of Star Ocean. Because I've played like halfway through of the original Star Ocean 2, and great fucking game.
I have also done that. I actually have the original PS1 release right back here. So
Yeah.
what is this ping I've heard coming from this area over here, and I don't know where it's coming from.
Now, have you set up your CRT TV, buddy? Have like you got the retro setup going?
No, it's on the list of things I need to do in the house. Like because I got to redo this whole gaming room. I want to repaint the
Redo it.
walls. Yeah,
Whoa.
I put the floor down and I told myself, all right, before we move anything in, we're gonna repaint the walls. Did not do that. I moved everything in. Walls are still baby blue colored. So I'm just kind of like it's like it's sitting right here next to me. It's on the list. Um,
Yeah.
but I got to redo my kitchen. Got to repaint my living room. Like there's just a lot of stuff to do. So what's ended up happening is I'm becoming paralyzed because I have too much to do. So I'm not doing any of it.
Uh, I mean, hey, you'll get there. Not like you're in a
Yeah,
rush to. Not like there's a hard deadline.
yeah, exactly. I
I
got
think I think I think the
video
man
games
cave
to
over there
play.
is going on. Yeah, yeah, exactly. I think the game room is looking good. I
Yeah,
cannot wait to have my own game room again. Like, oh,
hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah.
yeah. Like right now, my apartment is basically a giant game room with a bed in it.
That's all you need, buddy.
Yeah, but eventually, like, yeah, when I definitely move into a bigger place, can have a fucking game room.
I see you have a door behind you, so you at least have an actual bedroom, right? It's not just like a. It's not just like
What?
a one giant. It's not just like a
Oh
one
no 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 no
giant
no no
room.
no no no! No, this is a one giant. This is a studio. So that's my front door. That door behind me there.
Oh, okay. So like, where's your kitchen at?
Kitchen is over there.
Oh wow. So you don't have like a hallway or anything.
No, so basically the only separate room I have is I have like my laundry room that's like a kind of like a closet as well, and then my bathroom. But I will say I don't really feel like I have cabin fever in here. Like I don't feel cooped up by any stretch. Like I even do when I work out in here when I do my at home workouts. Yeah, like it's a 530 square foot studio. It's not like big, but it's for just me. I think it's fine. Um, once I get like my couch delivered and all that, I'm gonna do a game room or a apartment tour and just kind of show off some of the stuff. But
Okay.
yeah, I think for one person, a studio is more than fine. I would like a bedroom though. That was maybe an oversight. But
Yeah.
people,
Big
what's
city,
funny about yeah,
big city
you know what?
living. Yeah,
Yeah, I live in Philadelphia and basically $1,000 a month gets you a studio. So yeah. Uh, but I was gonna say, people are like, oh, when you get a studio, it sucks because when you cook dinner, like you go to bed smelling what you cooked. I'm like, what? That's a great thing. Like I smell steak all the time.
yeah, it's
Like,
like, heck, there it is.
yeah. But yeah, like I said, just for me, like it's I don't know more than enough room. Like I said, I don't feel cooped up. Like once I get my living rooms set up and rearrange my bed and stuff like that, I think it's gonna come out really sweet.
Okay.
Um, yeah, so it's a slow burn,
Yeah. Yeah.
the old rebuild. All right,
Hey, it
so
happens.
yeah, oh, buddy, you're telling me. So moving into now that we're kind of talking a little bit about the retro and retro game rooms and stuff like that, we're gonna introduce a new segment of the show because as we know, like, or if we stated, which I should say, that we here at Alpha Nerds Inc. feel that the retro gaming community is like the underbelly of the gaming space. It just seems to be like where all the fucking weird and scummy shit goes down. What was that?
That was me. That was me hitting my mic boom with my arm.
Beautiful. We so a lot of weird shit goes on in the retro game space because I feel like it's just like older guys and like just you're running into a lot of regular old Joes who are just like you, but like they just I don't know, like weird shit goes on in the retro gaming space, but doesn't mean that we ignore it. So recently, your boys come home.
Okay.
I've I dove deep, 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 deep into the retro game space, and I was looking at my gaming PC, and I was like, you know what? It's time to really trick this fucking thing out. Let's fucking put this thing through its paces. So I downloaded RetroArch and configured a bunch of emulators, which was a pain in the ass to do.
Yeah.
Uh, but I got it working. Specifically, the things that are a pain in the ass to do are anything disc based. And so if you like try to emulate like a PlayStation, Sega Saturn, Turbo CD, it's really hard because you got to find like BIOS files and when you get discs, it's like a bin or an ISO. Like it's a lot.
Yeah.
But your boy figured it out,
Beautiful.
and I had sent you as a joke. Like I was doing a test. I was playing the original Legend of Heroes on Turbo CD.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, I'm like it's basically Dragon Quest. Fun fact, but anyway, um, but I got all the emulators working, and I've been really diving into the Turbo graphics library, and I even have my like Turbo controller here. There's like a
Beautiful.
USB. Because I'm a big believer. I like original hardware,
Yeah.
but if I can't do original hardware, I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do my best to like get as close to original hardware as I can.
Yeah.
So, putting it on my PC, having a USB controller, probably about as good as I'm gonna get.
Yeah.
But what I did discover is there are so many fucking RPGs that we would have never been on our radar because A, we were too young, and B, like I don't think 6-year-old Pedro was playing RPGs at that time. Like, could you imagine playing the original Fantasy Star as a kid?
No.
I would have hated it. I would have fucking hated it.
Yeah. No, definitely not.
Or the original Final Fantasy. Like, because anyone who grew up with them, right? Like the
Hmm.
original fans, like that's all you had. So like you were playing it.
Yeah.
Where we grew up with fucking like a lot of different shit in the 16-bit era. But to make a long story short, I've been like looking at different series to check out, and I do have some credentials under my belt. Like I've beaten the original East Book 1 and 2. I've beaten East 3. I've beaten Castlevania Rondo of Blood. I'm trying to think what else. Um, I've beaten every Fantasy Star game except 3 and 4. So I've beaten 2 Fantasy Star games. And then like some of the classic stuff. Like I've beaten I beat Final Fantasy 5, Final Fantasy 4. So I've definitely put in work,
Mhm.
but now it's time to go back to work.
Okay.
Because like my goal in 24, like I've never beaten East 4 on the Turbo CD. Gonna beat that. I've never beaten I've never beaten some of the old side scrolling RPGs that are on like Sega Genesis. So like Landstalker and uh, Shining Force, some of that shit. Like I want to go back and just really play some of those old school like cut your teeth RPGs.
I
And then
love it.
the last one, I'm finally gonna finish the old school SMT games. I'm gonna put myself through it. We're
Stop.
gonna do it. We're gonna do it.
Stop it.
We're gonna do it.
Pedro, I watched you do this too long and torture yourself too long.
Yeah, we're gonna do it though.
It's like famously, people don't know. Like I sat there and I watched you play. Which one was it? Like that
Digital
digital
Devil
Devil?
Story.
And I was like,
Digital
dude,
Devil Story. Yeah.
like, dude, this game's not fun. And you're like, no, this is great. And it's not. And I refuse to believe that game was fun.
Like so, here's the thing. It was fun, and then I reached the point it's called like the Sea of Flames or whatever. That was the part of the dungeon I was in. And you would go into this area and you would meet enemies and that would de-level you. Like so say if you were level 55, you get hit with an attack, you're level 52 now.
That's such bullshit.
And then dude, and then when you died, if you ever died, it was a 50% Maka penalty. So like basically imagine if you're playing like Chrono Trigger or Final Fantasy and you wipe and they take half your money.
That's bullshit. That's nonsense.
And I quit. I fucking quit. The second it happened to me, I quit. But like I think now with like save states, like I can save state. There's no shame in save stating.
Yeah.
It's 2024. You can save state.
Yeah.
So I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna get through it. I'm gonna get through it because up until then, I was like, it was a challenge. So that's my goal. I'm gonna be posting. I'm gonna be trying to post once a day, on the Alpha Nerds Facebook page because I'm like horrible about fucking the social media page. But I'm gonna try and like keep updates as far as like what retro games I'm playing and where we're at because I really want to get into I just really want to dive into this hobby because I've been watching like a bunch of YouTube and there's this dude. He inspired me. He's the YouTube channel. I wish I would have put the link in the show notes, but there's two channels. The first channel is My Life in Gaming. I don't know if you ever heard of them.
Mm-mm.
There's these two older guys, but they kind of always like show like they do like retrospectives on systems and how to get the best quality out of them and what the best image quality is. It's like two older guys. They don't make a ton of content, but when they do, it's like really in depth. So
Okay.
I was like watching a bunch of series retrospectives on them, and then this other guy, he was like his channel is called Basement Brothers, but like his main thing he does, he lives in Japan, but like his main bread and butter is all he plays are NEC PC 88 games. So like we're talking about like old PC games,
Okay.
and so he was playing like Xanadu and the original Legend of Heroes and East, and like it's wild. Like this computer's like fucking archaic looking.
I just found out that there was an original Xanadu.
Yeah.
So like, is this like worth playing or no?
No. Oh fuck no. That one. If you see it, like it's the game's designed for you not to beat it. Like
Okay.
they
Okay.
literally when he was talking about it, he's like literally saying, yeah, when Falcom did this game, they didn't intend for people to beat it.
Hmm.
But if you really want to learn about Falcom's history, his channel's really good to like check out because Nihon Falcom is like super famous for doing PC games. But there's so many series that they have. Like, did you know Xanadu comes out every year ending in a 5?
No.
Yeah. So every year ending in a 5. I think the original Xanadu was 85. The Legend of Xanadu was Xanadu was 95. I think there's some Xanadu game that came out in '05, and then we got Tokyo Xanadu in 2015, and then the rumor is we're getting another Xanadu game in 2025. Yeah,
Okay.
weird shit about Falcom you just don't know, right?
No, I had no idea. That's news to me.
Yeah, so there's that. And then he was like talking about different series that Falcom's done. Like, you ever heard of Sorcerian or Zwei or like just Brandish? I'm like, I need to
No.
play these. So like, that channel has like inspired me to go deep into the waters of like where you know I'm getting
Hell
more
yeah.
knowledgeable about one of our favorite developers. And then there's this other game that he was that I learned about, which is called Far East of Eden, and
I've heard of this.
otherwise known as Tengai Makio. And basically, the premise of the games is like similar to Naruto, where it's like that same story where the people from the Fire Clan and Jiraiya, like I guess that's like Japanese folklore. I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either.
Yeah, so all these RPGs are based on that, and so they're saying, I'll put it to you this way. So there's this one game called Far East of Eden Zero, and it's a Super Nintendo game.
Okay.
And they say it is, again, this is what the community says, so hyperbole probably, that it's on the same level as like Chrono Trigger. It's on the same level as like Final Fantasy VI, as like a
Damn.
quintessential SNES RPG that we never got.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, so the only reason I do believe that is because I've heard of this game a lot, I believe. Like I'm pretty sure I've heard this game like a shitload.
Yeah.
So,
So like, and again, like, so when I discover a game, like I'm like, if this game's supposed to be the shit, like I might have to check it out.
mhm.
So
Fuck it. Go for it.
so that's my like long spiel about that. But getting into the underbelly. So first story that we saw, I just want to hear your honest thoughts on this. Do you know who
Okay.
the Geofront is?
The people that did the translation of the Azure games originally,
Yes,
right?
yes,
Yeah.
they're basically the reason why we got them, essentially.
Yeah.
They are. Did you know they are doing? They announced it on Twitter or X that they're starting work on the Gagharf trilogy.
Well, I know because you said it to me. That's how I know.
Yes, but now these are games for us that we knew about. Like once we started getting into Trails, like these aren't Trails games, but once we started getting into Falcom, we heard about these games, and they were like they're a little hard to get a hold of now. You could emulate them, but like those, I'm told those translations aren't great.
Mm.
Now, what are your thoughts on hearing that the team that gave you what you're playing now, which is Solid Gold,
Mhm.
that translated it for you, that they're putting that same love and energy into another Falcom RPG, another Legend of
Um,
Heroes game?
it
Are you in?
sounds. I think so. It sounds great. I have no reason not to be in, right? I mean, yeah, I guess. I don't know. I don't know. Is there a reason I shouldn't be in? Right?
Well, because they don't play like I don't think they play. You should at some point, in the next couple weeks, look at gameplay of those games because they're doing the Windows version of
Mm.
the White Witch, and I don't know if that's going to be for you because it's like it almost reminds me of like Lunar in a way.
Okay.
So like that's where I'm like I was like in, but I'm like, ooh, this ain't what we're thinking. We're not.
Okay.
But here's the thing that excites me about that one though. So the game they're doing is essentially the long title of it. It's the Legend of Heroes 3 Song of the White Witch or some shit like that. But the current president of Falcom, that's his favorite Legend of Heroes game.
Wow.
And like I'm like, "Oh, hey." Like, and since he helps with writing on the Trail series, I'm like, well, hold on.
Maybe we got something here. Is what you're saying.
If our boy likes this, that's so that's
Hey,
kind of why that's on the radar.
I mean, if we're in, we're in.
Yeah.
That's.
We're in. We are fucking in there. So
I'm down.
next story. A 13-year-old breaks Tetris. So
Yeah, this
this
is
kid from
awesome.
Oklahoma, he he finally defeats the unbeatable game. That's what the headline is, and it's some like little nerdy kid from Oklahoma. Um, Hang on, let me pull the story up. So, a 13-year-old from Oklahoma appears to have finally done the nearly impossible. He beat Tetris. Willis Gibson is believed to be the first human gamer to reach level 157 of the classic video game nearly 40 years after its release. If you watch the video, you can hear him say like, "I'm gonna pass out. I can't feel my fingers."
It's pretty sweet.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. So when he reached, I guess when he reached level 157, it caused like a kill screen.
Yeah, I think the
Yeah,
game just
the
killed
game's like,
itself
dude, you're done.
because
Like, we're
yeah,
done.
yeah.
Now, I think that's awesome. I think it's so fucking cool that still to this day, a game that's nearly 40 fucking years old, people still like, yo, let's get it.
Well, because the thing with Tetris is that it is a timeless game because it's not like it's got a story or anything, right? It's all gameplay. So because of that, I think that's the reason people can be like it's just play it over and over again. It's sort of like just like a regular activity like coloring or reading. It's like
Yeah.
anything. So
I don't know. I remember like my dad playing Tetris and like my aunt. Like it was like that was the first game I ever saw like adults playing. Which remember when you were a kid, when you saw an adult play a video game, you're like, what the fuck?
my dad played video games with me. That's the reason I'm such a video game fan these days, I believe.
What
Because
was Danny Slyhouse's game tastes?
Star Wars Dark Forces 2. We played it together. I sat on his lap
Yeah.
and we played Dark Forces 2. Yeah. That was the
Wow.
thing. We played that. We played Goosebumps, and there was a Goosebumps game where like you invaded a castle that was the mutant man or something like that, and that
Yeah.
was pretty cool. So yeah,
All right. Shout out Danny Slyhouse.
yeah. Shout out Denny Slakehouse, the old DS.
The old DS. Don't be on crutches around them. That's all I'll say. But
Yeah.
moving on. This is probably my favorite story here of the underbelly, because I love when chaos ensues. So, U.S. game reseller discovers hundreds of rare sealed games in old storage. So he found games from the Super Nintendo all the way up to the 3DO. Fun fact: the 3DO was made by Panasonic. Actually, quick aside: the 3DO was originally designed to be like a games platform. So like EA was like licensing the tech to make a 3DO. So like if you wanted to make a 3DO and I wanted to make a 3DO that's cheaper than your 3DO, I could do that. We both would pay the same
Oh,
licensing fee.
they were doing the Steam Deck thing.
Yeah, it was like basically the Steam Deck before,
Oh, not the Steam Deck. The
or
Steam
the
Machine. That's what it
yeah.
was.
Yeah, basically it was that same concept just in the 90s, and people were like, "What?"
Yeah.
But anyway,
It's never worked out.
no, but it's really funny that they had that idea before that. But hundreds of factory sealed old Nintendo and Sega games have been discovered inside a storage facility in Nebraska, America. Which I don't know who wrote this, but why would you? But anyway, so it's covering the 80s and 90s console releases. So he found Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis, Sega CD, Sega Saturn, 3DO,
Nice.
and he, understandably, the game room guy said he's not gonna post anything that's gonna be alluding to the value of the collection, because he doesn't want like price charting to go out of fucking whack.
Mm-hmm.
But some of the stuff that they said he found in there: Final Fantasy 3, Chrono Trigger, and a bunch of sports games. But here's what excites me about this: because a few years ago, have you ever heard of the game Stadium Events?
Is that like the one they gave out for like the championships?
No, that's Nintendo World. I forget what the NFT and yeah, Nintendo Video Game Championship cart, or the MVC cart. That's another really rare one. But basically, if you ever worked in a retro video game store, especially at the genesis of it, like kind of 2010, it's kind of when they all started booming. 2012, you were always supposed to be on the lookout for stadium events. It was like a $10,000 NES game.
Hmm.
And now these collectors who like will basically, that's their retirement. They're like, oh, I'm going to sit on this and wait for the value to go up, and I'm going to sell it for hundreds of thousands of dollars is kind of the goal.
Okay.
Usually stadium events sells for like 30K
Holy
recently.
shit. Wow.
But there was a guy who he used to be like an old retail owner, like he owned retail chains, and then when he closed, he had all this old new stock. and he one day he chose violence. One day he was like, "Listen, I'm tired of seeing all these stadium events go for stupid amounts of money. I have crates of these sealed, and I'm going to start releasing these onto the market for dirt cheap." And he would show off how many crates of just stadium events he had. And on the website Nintendo Age, which is like a bunch of collectors, there was like this active movement to try and gatekeep. They're like, "Yo, please don't do this. You're going to tank the value of the game."
This
And
is
so like,
awesome.
yeah, so these guys were going in a panic, like, "Hey, you can't like don't release these games because like they're gonna fucking tank the value." And then like, so could you imagine like you're one of those collectors like, "Oh, my complete NES set is worth hundreds of thousands of dollars because I have stadium events in it," and some fucking dude, it's like, "Yeah, fucking, I'll sell this for $1,000. Here you go." Just boop, tank the value. Now I'm
That's
hoping,
awesome.
yeah, I'm hoping like this guy starts putting some of this stuff out onto the market because I want to see people like lose their minds. Like I want to see people, "Oh, I'm holding my Earthbound." Are you though? Are you? Or I have Panzer Dragoon Saga or Snatcher, like some of these games that like are like stupidly expensive for no reason.
So what? Why is stadium events so expensive? Was it just a low release count, or
Yeah, it was a low print run. It was a low print run, and really all stadium events is just NES track and field. But
hmm,
the print run that says stadium events is the rare one.
interesting?
It's stupid. It's like why a game like Little Samson. I'm sure you've heard of it.
Mhm.
It's like a $500 NES game or more.
Interesting.
And yeah, now I don't know if we've talked about prices of video games before on the show. We had
I'm
to have,
sure.
right?
I'm sure.
But just in a quick refresher, so some of this stuff in the retro game community is like nuts. Like you, so it's like certain systems now are like uncollect. You can't collect for it anymore unless you make fucking dough. So like a game like or a console like the Neo Geo, right?
Mhm.
You remember the Neo Geo?
Mhm.
Yeah. So fun fact: the Neo Geo was always that system that like if you like knew a guy who knew a guy whose cousin had one. Like I never knew someone who had a Neo Geo. They would always talk about knowing somebody. Same thing with
Yeah,
the
I don't think
TurboGrafx.
I've ever seen one in person.
Yeah. But like now it's like stupidly expensive to collect for the Neo Geo. Like if you want like Mark of the Wolves, which is like a Fatal Fury game, that's like a $5,000 cart. Or like Metal Slug is a couple $1,000s.
I think I do remember you telling me about these games. It's like
Yeah,
ridiculous
it's like
price.
insanity. Yeah, like it's like the fucking it's like the dark web of fucking video game collecting. Or like you fucking like I don't know who's paying these prices. Like so I'm hoping that like some of this old new stock gets found. It's been my dream to come across some old new stock.
I mean, I would shit my pants. I'd be like, "Yo,
It'd be
like
so cool.
ruin the retro community."
Yeah.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, because I just feel like I love collecting. I do. I get out of it sometimes, and then I get back in, then I get out, then I get back in, then I get out. And the stuff that makes me get out is like sometimes like the price gouging gets stupid. Like it's just like I don't know what happens that like every hobby seems like that seems to be fun gets price gouged all of a sudden. Like I thought Magic got that way, where if you're like into Magic the
Magic's
Gathering,
stupid. I've always thought Magic the Gathering was stupid.
yeah. But yeah, the back to video games, like it's just like it makes it so the best time I feel like to pick up games is right at launch.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, because like if you look those Azure games we found are like or that we got the PS4 ones, Zero not so much, but Azure is a little hard to find now.
I bet. I mean, we called that immediately, right? We were like, all
Yeah,
right, they gotta get them.
yeah, and it sucks because like Trails is like immensely popular, so it's not like they're rare. Like it's not like
hmm
you can't get it. It's just for some reason the physical versions are just like hard to find. And it sucks that like someone's gonna fucking end up taking that L. Like someone's gonna end up paying $80 for a copy of Trails to Azure, which that hurts. That's a hurt piece.
Yeah.
So, what are your thoughts on the retro game space? Like I know you don't really dabble in there too much anymore,
I
but
used to, yeah. I was big in there, and then I jumped out real far because what I realized was that like it's largely consumed by people that don't love the hobby the way I do, right? Um, I don't like collectors that keep action figures sealed because in my mind,
I think that's a weird thing
you're
to do.
you're not a collector. You're just a reseller, right? The only reason you're keeping it sealed is because you are planning on reselling it later for more money. It's
Yeah.
the same way I feel about video games, right? I don't I don't fuck with people who buy games just because they are high value because they want to resell them later. That's not a person who loves the hobby the way I do,
No.
right? Like I got my PS1 collection and I got the games I wanted for it like 10 years ago. And they are all games that like I want to play, right? Like
Yeah.
I never was the guy that would go to the store and buy a game just because it was high value.
Right.
And I feel like the retro community is consumed with people, and they're so consumed with like value and price, and it's like you guys are just like crypto bros at that point, you know. It's like
Yeah.
it's you are you it's not about the video games anymore. It's not about like the conversation about like gameplay or like legacy. It's about like, hey, this game's a lot of money and we need to buy it so we can resell it later on for a lot of money. It's like, that's why I jumped out because I don't fuck with that. Now, if I saw like, a sealed copy of Chrono Trigger at a garage sale or something, would I buy it? Yeah, but I'm only interested in buying games that I actively love, that I want to play, um, that I want to be part of like my display collection. That's why, like, dude, as soon as I get it, like a new SH figure, X Dragon Ball figure, I open it up, pose it, put it in the collection, on the shelf.
Yeah.
So, and there's a lot of people that buy them. They'll buy like 3-4 copies of each figure because they're the SH figure arts. They're low print run. They're exclusive to a lot of places. They're really like high value figures. They'll buy a bunch of them, store them, and then they'll resell them later on when they're like $300-$400 a piece.
Yeah.
It's
It's
like
fucked up.
that. I don't do that. I immediately open them, pose them. That's what they're made for. It's like people who
Right.
collect Jordans and keep them in the fucking box.
I fucking hate that too. Yeah.
Like what? Because the crazy thing with that is it's even worse because you can't even display them
No.
in the
Shoot.
box. They're just blank boxes. My brother did that for the longest time. He had this massive Jordan collection in his basement that was like from floor to wall or the floor to
Yeah.
ceilings, and it's like they're a bunch of red boxes, dude.
Hmm. Yeah.
That's all
It's
I
like,
see.
and I love a good sneaker game, but yeah, like it's fucking yeah. You gotta like, I don't know. I don't believe in like doing that. Like I'm looking at my game shelf right now, and like every game I own on there is like stuff I like bought when I had the system, or like I bought it in the moment and just never sold it. But
Yeah,
they're like, or you ever watch like the Happy Console Gamer?
yeah,
Like he's like I love looking at his games wall because like he has such a history with games that like he still has all his like childhood systems. Like he still has his like 3DO, he still has his Turbo CD. He's like so like I remember when I first saw that like because his channel is like almost 20 years old now.
hmm
And I was like, you know what, that's what I want to do. So I stopped selling games. I stopped trading games in. And now I have this like big collection of just games that I'll look at my shelf like, oh, I remember when I bought that. I remember when I bought that, or I remember playing that, or I still have some sealed games that I haven't gotten to yet, but it's not because like they're valuable. I need to get them. Like no, these are games that I fucking want to eventually play.
yeah. Well, like, and to be clear, it's not like I'm saying you have to play everything in your collection, but you need in my opinion, there's the difference between a collector and a reseller is that like the collector is going to buy things for his collection because he wants them in his collection because he
Yeah,
loves them. The reseller is more consumed with value, and that's why I don't fuck with the retro community at all.
yeah, yeah. I'm with you there. But yeah, I'm excited to definitely get more into some of the retro stuff. And now that like we're getting older, like PS3 and Xbox are considered or 360 are considered retro now, which is really
It's
funny.
rough, rough.
I think it's great because I don't know, it's like they're like the cheapest systems to collect for right now.
Yeah, every time I go out to like a video game store, I look for like some PS3 games now
Yeah,
that
that's
I
what I do.
missed.
Yeah.
Um, I was looking for something the other week. I don't even remember what it was anymore. To be honest with you, no clue.
Shout out to Press Play, one of our favorite retro game retailers. If you're
Yeah,
ever in the
phenomenal.
Lancaster area, check them out.
Something I
Um,
discovered recently was that Gravity Rush Remastered is apparently
it's
like a
expensive as fuck. Yeah.
ton of money. Why?
Low print run.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I love Gravity Rush. I never I didn't play it much on the Vita because um you had to like move the Vita around like
Yeah, I
this.
didn't know that.
And
Nah.
I was like, nah, I'm good with that. So
No Kindle.
I was hoping to play I was hoping to play the remastered version on PS4, but then I was like I looked into it. I'm like, oh my
Yeah. No, you're not. Just like you
god.
thought. It's like you thought you were gonna collect all the Trails games. Funny
Hey,
guy.
that might still happen someday. All right, depending on how much money I have someday.
Ah, man. All right, now we're getting into the misconducts of the show. Now, these are things that like we don't need to necessarily spend a ton of time on per se, but these are things that I just found like a little ridiculous. So, first one, DC, you're on the misconduct list.
Forever.
Huh?
Forever.
Forever, yeah. But specifically, the Suicide Squad 2018 director, he finally gave up his push to have the director's cut released. So, I'm going to take another stance here.
I didn't even know that there was a push for the 2018 Suicide
Yeah,
Squad.
neither did I, but I saw the headline. I'm like, what? Anyway, let's call a spade a spade. That movie was a turd.
Yeah.
That movie sucked. I feel like that's kind of that started the downhill trend of like Jared Leto being just in shitty movies.
Yeah.
And here's my thing with DC, right? Snyder Cut. I'm glad it happened. I'm glad we got it. And the fact that it was so much better than the theatrical release of fucking Justice League, which we saw in theaters, and famously somebody got robbed during that movie when we were watching it. We were unaware of this.
Me and you?
Yeah, we all went and see it in Williamsport. Me, you, Watson, and Robert. And during the movie, it came out later that like in that theater somebody was held at gunpoint and like robbed.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I didn't. It was like that was the headline. Yeah, this happened.
Wow.
Yeah. So anyway, so somebody should be in jail with how much better the Snyder Cut was than the theatrical release. So there's strike one. Strike two is like we can't every time a movie's bad be like, hey, it's because we didn't get the director's cut. Like
Yeah,
that's not acceptable.
I agree.
It's like no, because there's people who say the same thing with Batman versus Superman. Oh, you got to watch the fucking Ultimate Edition. No, I don't. I don't. Get it right in the theatrical release. When I go to theaters to see
Yeah.
your movie and pay money, get it right.
Yeah. I'm not going to see Wonder Woman 84 director's cut, right? It's not happening.
No, like get it right. Like don't do that. Like I'll let
Yeah.
you get away with Snyder Cut because like I wasn't originally gonna watch it. I'm like this is bullshit. Then I finally one day just sat down and watched it and I was like oh wow. But that was a 4-hour movie. Fun fact. Like come on.
Yeah, I remember you telling me that was a 4-hour movie. It's crazy. It's too much.
Yeah.
It's too much.
Yeah. Like when you have to take an intermission, like I had to pause, like making myself dinner and like fucking. Like, could you imagine that in theaters 4 fucking hours?
I saw Return of the King in theaters, and that was like 3.5 hours. So
Holy fuck! I don't think I did see that in theaters, but I definitely had to have left to go pee during that movie.
that's just glorious, though. I mean, the Return of the King is a perfect movie. Snyder Cut
I
is
mean,
not the Return of the King. Yeah, that's
no, I agree
different.
with that. So second on, do you have any thoughts on that? But before we move on to the second thing,
Yeah. I've said it before. I've said it for years, time and time again. Time to let go.
yeah,
Time to let go on DC movies. Time to let go on Marvel movies. It's over.
I agree with you there.
The glory
All
age
right,
is done.
yeah,
They released you Blue Beetle this year, buddy. They
yeah,
did
no,
that for you.
yeah, we were out. I saw that for $5. I was like, woof.
That was your movie. They did that for you.
I know, and it was, yeah. We're just gonna leave it at that. So there's a new horror film being developed.
Okay.
Called based on Mickey Mouse.
Yes, dude, so good.
called Steamboat Willie, which that was like
Yes.
the original iteration of Mickey Mouse. How do you feel about like? Because didn't they just do this with Winnie the Pooh?
Yes.
How do you feel about this?
Well, to be clear, this was supposed to be able to be happened like a long time ago, like 10 plus years ago.
Is Steamboat Willie
Um,
public domain?
it is now. Disney fought and fought and fought to keep Mickey Mouse out of the public domain because of things like this. And I understand why they did it. I mean, it's literally their whole mascot is Mickey Mouse. I would bet that you start to see Disney move away from the Mickey Mouse mascot, which is like crazy to think about.
Yeah, because
But
of this shit.
Mickey, and to be clear, it's the specific version of Mickey
It's
that is in
Steamboat Willie that's
Steamboat Willie.
public domain. Yeah.
Yes. So it's got to look at least, it cannot look like the modern Mickey Mouse. It's got to look
Yeah.
like the Steamboat Willie version, which is, close enough. And you can still call him Mickey Mouse, just like you can call Winnie the Pooh that murders people Winnie the Pooh, which is that out digitally yet? I want to watch that.
I kind of feel like we have to.
I want to watch that. But
Yeah, maybe during Halloween I'll watch it.
But Disney lobbied and lobbied and lobbied to get this from happening. And eventually, and probably because of their fight with DeSantis. If I had to guess,
Yeah.
I don't know anything about it, but if I had to guess, that's probably what led to this. And I think it's so cool. There's a horror video game coming out too, and I'm
Yeah.
like, yes, dude. Apparently, that horror video game has been done for a while.
What, Steamboat Willie?
Yeah, and they have been like waiting for this to happen so that they can like capitalize, because that trailer came out like 4 hours after the announcement that it's now part of public domain.
Yeah.
So they were like, jackpot, baby, ching. So
That's so wild, dude. I like out of morbid curiosity, I'm definitely gonna watch it because I'm like, why what would possess you to do this?
hold on then. How long until something becomes public domain? Including whether it has been published. So the date of first publication has been ruled. For works created after January 1st, 1978, the copyright protection lasts for the life of the author plus an additional 70 years. So
basically anything like pre that is fucking fair game.
Yeah. So I'm just going to look up Pikachu. Wait, so when did so
Pokemon's 90s, so that won't be public domain for a while.
So like 2060.
Yeah.
So we'll live in an era where Pikachu becomes public domain. Pretty sweet.
Man. You know, I just had a morbid thought. You know, like we're gonna soon be like at some point be in an era where like some of these like legendary game creators start dying.
Yeah, it's already started happening.
Like think what's the game, like Miyamoto's gonna go, Kojima's gonna go, like it's it just when I think about that, it's like wow, the game industry is like that young still. But so Microsoft, I know we dump on them a lot, but it's like it's like they always give us reasons to.
Yeah, they do.
Like what the fuck is going on with Blade? Like what's going on? Like is it exclusive?
I don't know. I wish I did. I don't really care about Blade that much, but depending on what I see from it, I might be in, But also, like, Microsoft's done this before, where they've been super sketchy about it. People have caught them with Rise of the Tomb Raider, right?
Yeah.
If I had to guess, not exclusive.
But it's
not exclusive via previous contracts. But
why is it that they keep getting like fucking punked? Like, think about it. Sony gets to make Disney exclusives. It's like Spider-Man and Wolverine. But like when Microsoft goes, they're like, no. Like it's like you finally land a date with that really hot girl, but she still wants to talk to other people. It's just kind of like
probably because Microsoft's doing really bad. Like if you make a Microsoft exclusive, it's gonna be played by a fraction of the people that would normally play it if you didn't make it exclusive. Plus, also, I don't think Microsoft cares. I think Microsoft wants money, dude. And because Microsoft technically owns the studio that's developing it, so even if it's not exclusive, they're still going to make money when it goes. on Sony. I
Yeah.
mean, that's
I don't know. I don't get what's going on over there. It annoys me. I feel like this is the last Xbox we're gonna get. Like I don't think we're gonna get a next gen
I don't
Xbox.
I don't think so either. I think you're going to see a streaming platform for Xbox. That's
Yeah.
probably going to be it. Or they'll
Yeah.
be like, oh well, if you want to play, the Xbox games, play them on PC. That could be a possibility too.
Yeah.
Be like a
So I don't know.
Steam type platform.
Yeah, I just like get it the fuck together. Like that. Come on, Microsoft, get it
They're not
together.
going to get
Get
it
your shit
together.
together.
If they were going to get it together, they would have got it together like
It's
6
it's
years
been
ago.
every year. It's like, oh, this is their year. This is their year, and they fucking just kick us right in the nuts.
Yeah,
Right in the nuts. I feel
they
bad
don't
for the
have.
Duke. Those guys on Defining Duke. I feel bad for you.
Well, they just lost their show.
What do you mean they just lost their show?
Defining Duke Ultimate isn't their show anymore. They cut it out.
Yeah. Because the new one.
No, in the letter, Colin said that's like by far it's not even close their lowest performing show. So
Yeah. So which ones did they keep? Did they keep Sacred Symbols Plus or whatever?
yeah, Sacred
I'm
Symbols
assuming they
Plus
did.
is now once a week.
Yeah. Nice. Shout out to LSM doing good work over there.
Hell yeah,
Easy allies, fuck right off. But anyway.
my fucking ass.
All right. So also on the misconduct list, we have Watson. Now, the reason he earned his way back onto the list, right?
Yep.
I in our group chat, I go, hey, just so we're confirming, we're gonna do the 13th, right? Because I'm just going to make sure we're on the same page.
Yep.
And he goes, no, I thought the 12th. I'm like, no, fuckhead. We said the weekend of the 12th. And for the record, we had to confirm with your wife, not even you.
Yes.
So where does he come off? Just fucking dates up.
So like we've talked about this before, where like Watson, you can't talk to Watson about stuff. You gotta ask Vicky, right? And when me and you were like desperately trying to get those two to confirm for Litmus, I was like, all right, I'm done. I'm done working with this guy. So I texted Vicky, got a response back within 5 minutes, and I was like, you're going to be available for that
day. Yeah. So also, where the fuck is our song, Watson? We've been waiting literally almost a decade for a song at this point.
Yeah.
He sent me a riff, which I really liked, and I told him I liked it. And so maybe by the time I'm 40, we'll have a song from Watson.
Maybe.
That's a hard maybe. Shout out Vicky for being his handler. Last one on the misconduct list, we have one Mark Romanelli. Now, Mark, I'm gonna say this. I love you. So, story about Mark. I encountered Mark when I was playing football. He was my football coach in high school.
Oh,
yeah. So he would help coach our running backs, and then he was our JV coach too. So fun times with Mark. And then we stayed in contact while I was in college, and then we met up again when I was working in juvie. He was a teacher, and Mark and I game together a lot. Now, Mark runs a show called Beards, Brews, and Barbecues. It's a Facebook page. And he actually really recently just talked about a butcher in Jersey Shore or near Jersey Shore that just opened up.
Irvs?
Can't think of the name. Yeah, I think that might have been it. Yeah, have you checked them out?
They're not new. They just got sold by someone else. Yeah, okay. I've never been there. People like it.
Why don't you go to the butcher? I feel like that's a Seth move. I
am the butcher.
Man. Anyway, moving on. So Mark was supposed to be on the show literally in 2023. Hasn't come on yet. Mark, what the fuck?
Yeah.
What the fuck, man? He was supposed to do. We were going to do a Final Fantasy 16 spoiler cast, and Mark was going to be on it, and we just got ghosted. What's going on? Don't ghost us, bro.
We'll do it when the DLC when we play the DLC. Did you play the DLC yet?
Not yet. Did you?
I'm waiting until it all comes out. Then I'm just
same here.
Be cocked up.
I'm waiting for the whole shebang. So yeah, Mark, stop ducking us. Stop it. We need you on the show, buddy.
I don't bite.
I mean, I kind of bite, but in a loving way.
Oh.
Hey. So, with that being said, man, that's our show. It's been a fun show. Anything in closing? Anything you want to get off your chest? Anything? No,
I don't think so. I'm gonna, after this wraps up, go mess with my 3D printer a little bit tonight. Watch a little bit of Jujutsu Kaisen. I think maybe play some more Trails into Azure. It's gonna be a good night.
Yeah. After this, I'm probably getting ready for bed because work at 8 a.m. calls. You know, you love it. Gotta love the old 9 to 5 Monday through Friday.
Think
The
I'm
old
gonna go to the
grind.
gas station and get some brews.
I just had a beer during the show. A Belgium Red with elderberry in it. Real good stuff.
I have begun to make the great beer list of beers that I like because I
Okay.
always find myself being like, I don't know what kind of beer I want. So I've started in my phone writing down when I get a beer that I'm like coming back to this.
All right.
So,
Yeah, I'm gonna this weekend. Well, if depending on the weather, I'm gonna go on the hunt for like some sours for you for next week.
ooh, okay. I would respect.
Yeah,
I would appreciate that.
yeah. So
I, I,
that's
I'm,
gonna
I'm
be.
gonna I'm gonna tell you this, Pedro. Get excited. I got you a pretty sweet Christmas gift.
Oh yeah.
I got you something pretty cool. Yeah, I'm a big fan of it.
Oh, thank you. Okay, I'm looking forward to that. I think I got you
Yeah.
something pretty cool. I don't know if those other two shithead wanted gifts, so I didn't buy them anything. Fun fact, but
Okay.
because they were like weird about, oh, we don't like doing gifts. I'm like, oh my god. So
Well, I think Watson does, but Watson overthinks his gifts so much that he like gets anxiety about it. Robert legitimately hates gifts, but Watson is like
and decorating.
Watson is like constantly messaging me every year, being like, do you think so and so would like this? Do you think so and so would like this? I'm like, dude, just if you think they're gonna like it, then get it. Like this is just a chill thing. This isn't like
Yeah.
you're trying to impress your boss or something. Just like
No,
relax.
no, no. You can impress me. I'm his boss.
Yeah,
Is he doing the pork roast, or
I don't know.
did he want a pork roast? Because
I'm,
in the chat he put, "I'll do a pork roast." So I don't know if that meant he was doing it or he wanted one.
I would imagine that would be he's doing it, but we're gonna have to confirm with him that he's actually doing a pork roast. Because if he doesn't do it, I'll do it. So
Okay, yeah. Because these is why I like literally reach out in advance, like an adult, like, "Hey, what are we doing?"
yeah, we gotta treat Watson like a someone who has a handler. So confirm with Vicky.
All right, sounds good. All right, you can find us on Twitter or X. We are at Alpha Nerds Prime. If you want to follow us individually, Mr. Slyhouse here is at Seth the '90s Kid, right? That's
Yep,
yours,
that's
and
right.
I am at Blame Beltron 06. If you want to follow us on Facebook, we're at Alpha underscore Nerds. Find our YouTube channel, like, comment, subscribe. Uh, you know, check us out. Give us some feedback. We're on Spotify. We're everywhere. We're like I don't know. We're desperately, yeah. Well, we're like Batman. We're in desperate need of followers. The goal is to, like, can we get to 100, please? Can we get to 100 subs in 24? Can we do that? Is that possible? I don't know. But anyway, it's been a great show. Remember, gamers, when in doubt, square up, throw down. Oh, this is awkward. We lost him. We lost our boy. Right at the end of the show, we lost him. Now, I could end the show because this is like really weird, but I'm going to keep going. Oh, the recording stopped. Oh, no, the recording's still going. We're still recording. This is awkward, but we're going to keep going. I'm going to see if he logs back in. And, you know, this is going to be a segment of the show we call Alpha Nerds After Hours. It's just your boy now. It's just me. You have my beautiful voice. You have, oh, God. Seth just blue screened. He blue screened. So, similar to blue balls. Um, I don't know what we're gonna do to fix that. Um, you know what? We're gonna go boots on the ground. We're gonna call him. We're gonna call him. See if he answers. Oh, he didn't answer. Oh, okay, you're back. Yeah, we were. It's still recording, so I'm sitting there like, I thought maybe Chrono got it. Yeah, so we'll probably have to edit out, like, the last, like, 4 minutes because I was like, this is still recording." Yeah, that'd be rough. Yeah, what'd you think about that show? Like, honest